just like most things in the world, the reason why these videos are being made is because people watch them. Because a lot of people do, as much as you might think of it, some people do these stabbings for fame and to be seen and to be known. That's why they're there with their cameras to show the stabbing in the first place.
I mean, that was sent in a group, in one of my groups, and had I have known what it was, I wouldn't have watched it.
At some point, society has become numb to certain things, because I shouldn't be able to know that I've got to be careful how I scroll in case someone retweets a video of this kid getting killed, because people just like to, happy share and whatever.
I don't think it's numb. I think it's ease. It's easy for these things to go out there. So that's why it's out there.
Don't you think it's a new form of another stream of news, though? Because usually in news broadcast, we never get the full story. We never get the full understanding of what had happened. And I'm not condoning it. I'm putting it out there as a possibility or another way of looking at it. Yeah. Seeing these videos is almost like it's news. So it's like, this is what happened. Here's a version of the full context of what went down.
I don't usually swear, man. But fuck that. Yeah, allow that. It's not good to send these things. It's not good to be watching them. You shouldn't be promoting it. You shouldn't be advocating for it. You shouldn't be legitimizing it by calling it news. It's a nonsense. No, let me finish, man. You've been cutting people off, man. Don't do it. It's disgusting. Yeah, these are our children. Yeah, this is important. We can't just be make it like it's nothing. We shouldn't be. Look, we are adults, yeah. And we're co-signing it, or we're trying to defend it, or we're arguing for children spreading videos of other children killing children. No. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents and other small insects. Welcome to Eloquently Saying Nothing, the podcast. This is episode 98 of season 2. Hashtag ESN pod on all your social medias, and you can find us at ESN podcast everywhere. I am Stavros Boss, and we have a full squadron in the house tonight. So let's start off with somebody that hasn't been here for a couple of weeks.
Oh, fucking hell.
That actor.
Is that you greet people?
No, because I knew he was coming to me. When people ask me, good listeners, why do I hate all the Tutsis? I say, read our history. The Tutsi were collaborators for the Belgian colonies. They stole our land. They whipped us. Now they have come back to these Tutsi rebels. They are cockroaches. They are murderers. Rwanda is our home. We are the majority. They are the minority of traitors and invaders. We will squash the infestation. We will wipe out the RPF rebels. This is RTLM Hutu Power Radio. Stay alert.
Okay, T'Challa.
Watch your neighbors.
This is what I was about to say. I love Black Panther, but I hate it too because it just ruined Rwanda. He even said it like it was Wakanda. I'm in Rwanda. Is that Wakanda?
Because Ghana people, it's your boy, the actor. DATACTOR on Twitter and on Instagram.
Hotel Rwanda,
yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, wonderful.
Well done.
Well, that was good.
No, because most people never get the films.
Yeah,
Hotel Rwanda.
That was quite easy for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, that one. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Mr. Wolf wouldn't have got it.
No, I knew.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think that might have been one of the earliest films that made me feel super emotional.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it
Bad
before.
Boy film. Have you not seen it?
It's got Don Cheadle in it.
Don Cheadle's in it.
It's an emotional.
You know Don Cheadle is the...
Yeah, I know I need to do the intros.
He's what?
Okay, sorry. You just let people flow, man. Why can't you just talk?
Because then it's 10 minutes before people get introduced.
I'm telling you, when I hosted it was better, man. But anyway, keep going.
Simple Simon.
We live our lives in accordance to the teachings of Haile Selassie I. When I left from home and I went abroad on tour, I was preaching the teachings, preaching them for sure. I said to those people, answer to God when he knocks on your door, because if you ignore him, your life will not be better for sure.
Yeah, I ain't should break up your follow down and straighten your crooked ways. Blessed is the man walking on the house of the ungodly. Till I see I live it every time. Me sing, after me left from Jamaica, go back from Toronto. Preaching, teaching the people for sure. Answer to the any man upon the door. If it know you want privilege for sure. Come back to Jamaica, everything insecure.
It be that one.
That's Brother Capleton.
That is Father Cableton.
And it is world tour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good world tour. Can you do it in the bashment version, please, for the people?
After me left from Jamaica, go off in Pantor. Preaching the teachings for sure. Answer to Jeremy and upon your door.
yes. Brother Capleton.
You know when you man say that you don't like poetry,
Uncle Capleton.
I don't know how you don't like it when people do spoken word, man, because that's basically what Simple Simon does.
Yeah, but you noticed something. I didn't go, and then the sun hit the
Not
rain.
everybody does that, bruv.
And as she puts the shea butter on her skin, I watch her, I bleed
I'm actually-
in my heart, knowing for sure that she longs for me.
I'm gonna play some poetry. I'm gonna play some poetry today.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Brother Wahala right there. Yeah, thank you for
At
that.
Simple Simon FB, at Simple Simon on Twitter. You're
As she puts the peppers in the blender and the tin tomato.
Okay, then that is Big Wahala.
Yo, at Big Wall on Insta, at Big Wall on Twitter. What's good, people?
Okay, it's done. Thank you. All right, and we have Mr. Wolf.
A lamp is typically of little value in the afternoon, but does get appreciated at night. There's always the right time and place for everything. Word is born. That is Yoruba proverb,
Except child molestation.
of course. But you have to take it to the extreme, innit? You get me? It's like, why would you even bring in paedophile here?
Because it's true,
like flipping heck.
The night time is the right
There's an
time.
extreme for everything, innit?
But then it's not everything. Then there's a right
Why
time
do you
for-
have to
for-
be
for-
so pedantic?
for nearly everything?
Why?
no,
Why?
Pedantic is life.
no, I don't like.
Have you done your social? Sorry.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
You can catch me on AKA Mr. Wolf on Instagram, AKA _ Mr. Wolf on Twitter. And I posted something on Twitter today.
You did.
I posted something on Instagram today as well. So I've got 2 posts now on my Instagram.
Well done.
Yeah, man.
You sounded so sensitive when he asked you whether or not you done your socials. No, I have not. I haven't done my socials, damn it.
I haven't.
Well,
You know,
Talking about socials. Excuse me, because we do have a guest that we need to introduce, so she can actually
you
join
know
in the
what?
conversation.
Your guess has saved you because I was going to gun you.
Yeah, because we're just talking in it, and they're just sitting there. They need to come in. All right. So we have a social media expert, a champion of the world,
Take it to church. Take it to church.
somebody that has come home to the promised land.
Wow,
from where do we call it? Mordor.
Mordor.
Rejoice.
Hi.
Retweet like.
How you doing, Rejoice?
I'm good. How are you?
How should I really how should we describe you? Like,
Opinionated, I guess. Bubbly, and sometimes evil.
Evil, you know.
Did you say and sometimes evil?
Evil, you know.
Just the way I troll people online is a bit.
Oh, you troll?
I don't call you a troll.
Really? Because I think sometimes I do.
Only the Ghanaians can potentially have actual issue with you, and I love you for that. Ghanaians,
Have you been blocked?
Well, by bare people,
Yeah.
like loads.
Does that make you feel like you've achieved something in life?
It depends from having an argument and you block me because you can't proceed from
That's
the
fair.
argument. So then if you block me, I'm like, okay, cool. But sometimes it's like I get blocked by association. Yeah. So
what does that mean?
So basically, I could like know someone you're beefing, and if they're going at you and I'm laughing, I just get blocked. I haven't said anything, but I'm just there laughing.
that goes
So you have
with-
said something then.
Because they know it's you, that's why.
I'm just laughing.
Yeah, but why would you? That's just. Like,
But then
you
that's
can laugh in private. You don't have to like. I want to let you know that I'm
they
laughing
need
at
to
you.
see the O's. Like,
that goes into one of the things I actually wanted to talk about. You actually segued that quite nicely because we got
Before you segue, what's your socials then?
so it's Reggie Yates on Twitter. Says Reggie REJI and YATES. It's not the same as the actual Reggie Yates, so please don't confuse the at name with his. And on Insta is Rejaku REJIAKU.
Hang on, what does that mean?
Rejaku.
Rejaku is just my first name and my last name joined together.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were making a new noun or
Exactly.
something.
Rajaku on the beat
Rejaku.
as well.
You're not giving her the shine, boy.
Not only will I jack you, I will rejack you.
So we were talking earlier, and I asked Rejoice a couple of questions still, because as you know, she's our social media analyst. What did I call you the other day? I called you our social media. What do they call them people that's on the ground? You know, when they say the newscasters on the ground, what do they call them?
Anchorman.
No, they call them a particular figure.
In the field.
Anyway, she's that's what she is. She's on the ground for us. All those people that don't understand Twitter, if you go to Rejoice, she'll be able to explain most things that's going on the Twitter for you because she's on the ground. But one thing that I was talking about earlier is that somebody must have put up, Rejoice actually put up a question talking about which one's better of UK Twitter versus US Twitter, like which one's funnier, which one's better. And somebody...
Why are you starting beef?
I wasn't starting. I was actually just asking for people's opinions, like, and I just...
You know, America, black Twitter you're talking about.
Yeah.
You can't black and American, UK Twitter and black America Twitter now. Everything is beef now.
It's
there's
like a war.
Yeah.
No, but I'm sorry, that's audacious. Most people want to take on South London. Most people want to take on Peckham. You want to take on a whole continent. Yeah, you want to go the whole of North America. That's what you're going for.
It's not the first time. Like, it's like, I don't know, Blitter was one of the funniest times between UK versus US, and it was just manic. Like, they were going for us and we were going for them.
Blitter was it was a black social network. It was a black Twitter.
Yeah, black Twitter.
It was made by a black person for black people.
Yeah.
There was an actual...
There was an app
yeah,
called
there's an app. It's the things that happened when the purge happened, that people were getting suspended left and right.
Listen,
this is the question I wanted to ask.
I'm at the loop. I don't know what you're on about. What purge?
So before we get there,
I ain't seen the film.
Because one of the things I was talking about,
That film was wicked.
one of the things I was talking about is the fact that UK Twitter is very, very cliquey, and everyone in UK Twitter seems to know each other. All right, so let's start with the purge, because I don't know with this purge thing. One time I came and a lot of people had that because I don't actually follow a lot of these people. I follow you, but I don't really follow a lot of people. So by following you, I follow them in a way because you retweet a lot of what they do. But some of them had new accounts, and there was just randomly people popping up with new accounts saying, "I've been blocked, I've been removed, I've been this, that, that." So what actually happened?
It's, I think, because Twitter changed their rules, and then therefore people's old tweets became violations, and therefore they were removing them. So little jokes like, I could be bantering with my friend and I said, I'm going to kill you. That Twitter took that literally as though you're threatening to kill somebody, and then removes you from the thing. So therefore they created new stuff. They tried to get me out, but
So somebody was snitching.
Yeah, so someone has to report the tweet. So bare people were getting their old tweets. So you can search the person's name and the keyword like kill, and audit any tweets that has the word kill in it, and then that comes up, and they just keep reporting it.
So these were guys and girls that have gathered like followers up to, some of them up to like 20,000, 30,000, stuff like that, and then bang, all your followers gone because somebody's reported you.
Yeah,
that's wickedness,
It's evil.
But they all now full base making money out here. But anyway, we'll get to them a bit later. So what do you think of? Because it is really cliquey. I don't understand how do you all actually know each other?
No, I don't think everyone knows each other. I think it's because London is big, but it's kind of small. So it's like events. I think everyone goes to similar events, which is advertised on Twitter. So I will see people I know. Me obviously staying up in Manchester for quite a while, I didn't really see anyone. So if I come down to like recess, then I'll see everyone I interact with, but I don't know you on a personal level. It's just like we don't have issues, like we bant on the TL.
Okay.
But I have like, actual friends I've met on there and actually made a proper friendship. But I wouldn't say I know all like the bait people personally. I would say hi to you. I just would, my life is like tell you my life story.
Okay, so when you will meet each other, how is it? You like you just look at each other like because obviously everybody's face doesn't always look like what they used to look at in their AV or whatever.
I mean, the people I'm cool with, I'll actually be like, "Oh my god, hi, how are you?" Like, actually, it would be like a sort of finally meeting someone you've interacted with for such a long time, like a long distance pen pal you finally met in person. It's just that, and it's like it's always good vibes. But it's obviously if you're someone who always has beef on there with people, you definitely see it up, and it's just like,
she said, "We got ops." That's when you know you got a youth on the podcast. Let's not tell you about their ops.
So it's just one of those things. But it's for me, it's pretty normal. I didn't really have issues with people outside of Twitter.
So how did you manage to get all your followers anyway? How did you manage to accumulate the amount of followers that you have?
I think I got active on Twitter when I was 18, 19.
Did you buy them?
Nah.
Ford Bay.
Nah.
This guy's getting shot.
I've been broke for years. I couldn't afford to be buying followers.
Michael, modern.
So it's just like I think it's just got to a point where I didn't care what I wrote on the TL. So I just started actually being who I am in person and what I say. And I guess people just sort of gravitated towards, I guess, the persona I put out. And it just sort of grew. And with every, tweet that gets viral or blows up, I kind of get more followers and get more people who are sort of cool and like they message me. So it's just like, that's just how it got to the point I thought, oh.
So you're saying you're a super personality and your personality
I'm saying I have a great personality and people can just relate. So people just gravitate.
So you see it there? You don't have any modesty, do you?
Her name is Rejoice.
I do, but if I've got a great personality, I've got a great personality.
This is what I like. Keep it real. So what's your problem with Ghanaians? Because
it's not even it's not even a problem. It's just
for those of you that don't know, she goes at Ghanaians on Twitter like we go at Ghanaians on the podcast.
Yeah.
And it's quite enjoyable to watch.
I go at Ghanaian
I sit back
men.
and Ghanaian men.
Yeah.
Sorry, I sit back and I watch and I enjoy it. It's a beautiful thing. So what's our reasons is just bants, innit? We just bants.
I think the banter started. I think honestly and truly, the banter started because I dated the Ghanaian.
I was about to ask.
That was your mistake first and foremost. But keep going.
I dated a Ghanaian when I was 18 till when I was 20. So
It's a sentence, boy.
So it was just more so. I think after that, I thought, you know what, I couldn't banter Ghanaians then because I don't want to banter like my man who's Ghanaian. I think after I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for everyone. And there's obviously a rumor that Ghanaian guys have big hips and childbearing hips and bums. So so I kind of went along with that.
Any pregnancy?
Hang on, did you say
Childbearing
Men.
hips?
on Ghanaian men?
Yeah, they definitely. I've seen a lot that Adichie have, like they're very curvaceous.
Do any
like,
of them suffer from sciatica?
like voluptuous people. Like I
Ghanaian men are voluptuous.
It's because they're not very tall, so it's like midget syndrome, isn't it?
Oh my god.
You know how midgets have got big bums or whatever.
I'm so
I
dead.
don't know.
Did I rectify that actually about the tallness?
What's that?
That it's not actually all of them.
Yeah, there's certain tribes,
There's
isn't
a
it?
tribe because
But they're the ones that open their mouth the most. So
because they're a lot of the ones that came here. What tribe are they now?
Shanties.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're the shorter ones.
Oh,
But so when I go to Ghana, I'm in Accra, and they're not. The Shanties are not in Accra. So I'm walking there. It's like everyone's wow, you're normal height. It's like it's not. I'm not in China.
Normal height.
Yeah, it's like I'm not in China. So
I'm not in China.
and then I was asking, listen, why is it all the
Dorothy,
ones?
you're not in Kansas
Yeah,
anymore.
why is it? Because I just know short Ghanaians and they're very stocky and all that. And oh yeah, that's the Ashantis. They live in this area, in the capital city is the Ghars. And I said, okay, but they're the ones that a lot of the time travel.
How do I
so
find them?
they're the ones that are populated here.
Follow the yellow brick road.
everyone's gonna get that.
All right, okay. So that's that. So shout out to the Ashantis.
Well, we just can't even go Ghana anyway. I've said that already. They proper actually
There's a
got drone
bounty.
strikes looking for her, man.
Yeah, it's peak. I mean, some people take it a bit personal, but it is what it is.
Trust me, the Ghanaian men will still chip you same way.
Like I just
Remember, they're
don't.
jobless people.
Did he spoil it for you?
Who?
The Ghanaian, did he mess, like, was it a pain? Not painful. Did he mess it up so it's like, because of you, I'm not going to go at people like you?
I think after like a year after being with him, I didn't really like Ghanaian men. I think now it's just like, I don't really care.
Hang on,
But
you were with him for 2 years, so you suffered for a whole year.
yeah. I'm not
I really suffered for a whole 2 years.
Wow.
So,
So-
a year after
After we
with
broke
him.
up, I just didn't really fuck with Ghanaian men.
Rejoice, can I ask you a question? Do you know a lot of Ghanaian women?
No, actually,
You don't?
I know one.
And who's she with? Is she with a Ghanaian man?
She loves up Nigerian men.
Exactly. So that shows you something. If they don't like their own men, you should not be going there. They don't like their own men. I've been saying this for years. They don't like their
Yeah,
own
I've
men.
heard quite a lot of Ghanaian girls just say they don't really go with Ghanaian
Yeah,
guys.
they don't like to say it to the men's face, which I think is as honourable thing to
Yes,
do.
of course, of
but to
course.
Nigerian men, they will tell you we don't like our men, and we'll be like, of course you don't like.
That's
them.
why
Look at them.
Ghanaian men are actually walking around thinking that their women love them.
Yeah, because they
love us.
Yeah, they love us because they've been gassing them.
They love us. But it's all good, man. It's all good.
Innit? Loud the Ghanaians today.
One of our guests said the
There's
same
nothing like
thing.
a mother's love anyway.
Oh, wow.
I was saying that one of our guests said the same thing about a few weeks ago. She was from Ghana, and she said that she loves Nigerian men.
Oh yes. That's the one I was on there, was it? Okay. All right. So we're gonna start with. Let's start off with something that Rejoice wanted to talk about.
Which is what?
Go on, you pick.
I don't know. Okay, I guess have you seen the pictures coming out about the white women who were sort of apparently trying to be black or paint themselves to be black?
All right, so this is the new viral viciousness on social media, where you have somebody that's pointed out that a lot of these Instagram models or Instagram people, a lot of the white ones, either they tan themselves up or they do stereotypical black hairstyles, stereotypical black poses, I guess, and go to hang out in stereotypical black spots, and then they can almost pass for mixed race, or a lighty, So, and then you're realizing that, hold on, they're taking shots of 3 of them where they look like how they would usually post themselves, and then one picture where they're just looking normal without makeup, looking like Jessica, stereotypical Jessica.
Or Becky, yes.
Or Becky's the one in there. Okay, Becky with the good hair.
So they look like Bekisha.
Yeah, whatever. And they're saying, wow, some of these people are actually passing
as lighties, man.
Yes, for what they're not. And that's going along the timeline now. I retweeted it for banter because I really don't care. But some people are offended. I'm assuming some women don't like this because it's like, why these are the people? Because remember, these Instagram people are getting sponsorship. They're making money off this kind of stuff. So it's like, instead of finding a black person to that's popping, you find a white person that looks like a black person and give them the money.
I got a question there. Yeah, like black people have been going, from what I've seen on the TL, that black people have been a bit what's the word? Animated about this whole thing, and they're saying, you know, like these white girls are trying to look black. But what if spanner in the works here? What if the white girls don't actually want to look black? They want to look mixed race.
That's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to look black. They're trying to look mixed race.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually look black, but I think the issue is you've changed yourself so much. There's now racial ambiguity that no one actually knew some of you were fully white. So I think that's what people just like, whoa, like.
Yeah, but then if you don't know what color somebody is, what does that matter?
I don't know. I don't think it matters. I just think it's like, why would you? It's like same way as people have issues with like black people bleaching. Why would you like? It's like you basically drastically doing something to look a different way, and then cause like a reaction. Like certain girls will want to look lighter to look mixed race, or certain black girls want to look lighter to look mixed race. It's like, why would you want to cause racial ambiguity? And it's like, if it can be branded for black girls that's self-hate, where is the same energy when white girls do it? And why is it now sort of we should be okay with it? And that is a form of self-hate if you drastically tan yourself to the point of you are sort of trying to go into your darker, your kind of black, that mysterious
I kind of think that we don't have to do a mental assessment on white people though. We don't.
I think, like you said, the offense was like you're giving coins to people who are actually not white, and if you're trying to do diversity and you didn't know these people are fully white, and you're sending them PR, for example, if you're sending them makeup that's for darker skinned people, that she's not actually a dark skinned person, she just tanned herself to be. So she's wearing dark skinned makeup because of what?
So essentially it would matter, especially if you had a tendency or you're marketing towards a certain demographic and you're marketing to the wrong demographic because they've fooled you into believing they are darker skinned. So it would cause an issue.
For who?
For one, the manufacturers trying to sell their product to that specific genre of people.
Yeah, but they'll get the sales because the girls bust now.
No, it won't, because the girls can't wait. All right, so let's say that you got your long hair, right? And then they send something that's made for locks to staff with no hair, or and Mr. Wolf. Those two are the ones that are now gonna look at the desired product for the person with long hair. They say it's cool for them because they ain't got no hair, right? But then when the product actually comes out, it don't work. And there's a big problem with black women and makeup in the first place, that they don't have the correct shades for them anyway. Which is why when Fenty came out, all these women were going crazy because Fenty was basically had all the color ranges for them, yeah? That's what I'm right in saying that. So then if we're not giving black people makeup to white people that's tanned, giving it to Tiffany and all that, it's not going to work, bruv. Because in the end, it's not gonna work. When
shout out to the black girls called Tiffany.
Yeah, when Shade now wants to go and put it on, and Tiffany's the one that's been doing the makeup for them. It's not gonna work, is it?
Yeah, but then at the same time you say that, but when she had the makeup on, we were unable to tell that she wasn't a pale white girl, so it must be working.
We know that she's white.
Yeah, but if you saw the pictures, you would.
Have you seen those things?
I've seen some of them.
Yes, yeah, some of them was a bit like, whoa.
You're
I mean,
white, man.
some was like, yeah, she's white because she's tanned, but some was just like, it's like, I don't know. I guess it's sort of, kind of creating a joke out of it for us. It's just like, okay, like you're doing all these hairstyles again for white girls doing braids, white girls doing locks, and typically white girls tend to be praised for that. Oh, that's chic, that's fashionable. But black girls is, oh, it smells of weed. Oh, it's sort of like,
who says that? Who says that?
wait.
Because people throw this stuff out all the time.
No, but wait.
so there's a good woman called Juliana. Zendaya wore dreadlocks on the red carpet, and she made a comment saying, "Oh, it kind of looks like it smells of petroleum, like basically weed."
that.
And that's what she said, and that was just like, whoa. But with Kylie, and what's her name, Kendall Jenner, wearing it on Fashion Week, the headline was, "Oh, that's so chic. It looks chic. That's a new in stuff." So it's like, why do we get shamed? And these white girls are using those hairstyles, and people are praising it. But for us, it's like,
Yeah, but then you have to understand that you're talking about two completely different markets now. So when white people are praising them hairstyles, they're praising it for other white people. They're not trying to sell it to blacks. We're getting offended like it's supposed to be sold to us. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think it's just the concept of it. Like,
I don't get it.
even
I don't either.
even though it's not being sold to us, but it's just like the natural hairs we do. Is that why is it on us bad?
So when it's being appropriated, it's an issue.
Yeah, why is it on us bad, but on them it's cool? It looks good.
It just looks better on us.
No, but
But
they're not
it looks
saying
better on us.
but
But
you
we're
never hear
not
that.
saying it looks better on us. They're saying we look as though
No, I'm saying as a white person, I'm saying it just looks better on us. That's just it.
But it doesn't.
Are you trying to play devil's advocate?
But
or
it doesn't
something?
look better
Because what you're
on
saying don't
white.
make no sense to no one.
I'm in the transracial moment at the moment. I'm cutting into my inner white guy. You know?
All right.
There's Oye Boy and all of us. Look at your bones. So I'm just bringing the white to the surface.
For
But
me,
Would you like a ham sandwich?
if you're
with lots of
Yeah,
mayonnaise.
they call it a bacon sarnie.
Bacon sounding.
for me, it's like if it's a case of like these are taking away your money, it's a serious thing. Like it's deep because I kind of get what Joyce is saying. If women, especially black women, are getting cussed off for doing certain things all the time, constantly getting cussed off for the way they look. You do this, they can't go to work with certain hairstyles because people will say that it looks a certain way, it's unprofessional. You actually in a creative field where your hairstyle shouldn't really matter and they still make it a problem. Like you can't take certain roles because you've got certain things. Even the army tells you can't plait your hair, right? But these white women are going around pretending to be black, or are they actually pretending to be black?
I don't think
what?
they're pretending.
That's what I don't know what they did.
I don't think they're pretending. I don't think they're purposely trying to.
So they're not doing racial business. They just,
Yeah, so I don't think they targeted. I want to look black and whatever. But I think
they want to look mixed race.
One
They
of
wanna
them,
look Mediterranean. A lot.
one of them did, started use. She's very known for using the N word in videos. So the fact that everyone found out that you're fully white is just like, yo,
Whoa. But then, sorry,
Whoa.
that's blacks' fault for allowing people to feel like it's an acceptable word to use. I'm sick of blacks screaming at people. I don't think anybody should let white people use that word. Of course,
sick of blacks.
but I'm sick of blacks using it too.
I'm just gonna cut that bit
Yeah,
out.
just leave it at that. I don't have a problem. So I'm sick of them. You cannot be going around using that word thinking it's cool, and then when people are now using it, you're getting you yourself has allowed it to think it's cool, chatting about it's appropriating the word. Foolishness. You don't want it to appropriate your culture, but you want to appropriate theirs with the word. Foolishness.
All right, you sidetracked.
I've had my run.
Yeah, okay.
But going back to the hair fingers, I suppose.
Personally, even before the head thing, just dealing with the actual the skin tone and the situations where these white people are appropriating colored culture. I'm just putting colored like that.
Cowards.
I don't have an issue with it outside of the financial stuff that you mentioned. So if you're gaining money and taking away from somebody that is actually of that hue, then yeah, that's a problem because that's that. But if you're just out here, first trapping people and gaining followers because people think you look nice and you just so happen to tan up or to do whatever it is you're doing to make yourself look darker than you are, I don't really care because I don't care enough about you. But I care about my women enough to say that if you're taking the money out of my woman's pocket because of trying to look like my woman, then I have an issue with you doing that.
Would it differ if it was on a personal level? So say you saw someone on Twitter and you liked them and started to follow them and then eventually ended up dating them. And then on the date you found out they were not actually of the hue.
I would
that you saw in the
have
pictures.
yes, I would have an issue with that. Yes,
so it's,
I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's forward basically.
but from
It is actually.
Yeah, but we're Nigerians, isn't it? Come on.
Gotcha.
no, but the thing is, my thing is now, you guys have made a point about the money and saying that you know don't like the way the money's going. But again, to me, that's weird because as black people, we buy our food from Indians, we buy the hair products from Indians as well. Like we don't buy the stuff that is culturally ours from ourselves.
I'm saying
anyway.
somebody else giving money to them, not
To market it.
not money
Yeah, exactly.
swapping between black to black. I'm talking about this company is giving you money to market X, Y, Z because they feel you look a certain way that is attractive to a certain demographic, and that demographic is not even theirs. So it's like, that's not fair. That's yeah. It's almost like it's a fairness thing.
Yeah.
Come on, let's play fair at least.
Look, listen, a prime example is this white guy that has got money from the Arts Council because he decided he was black.
Oh my god.
And people thought he was black because he looked a bit black.
Yeah, he looks like who's that? The drum and bass dude.
Ronnie Size, no,
No, really size.
Goldie.
Goldie, yeah.
Yeah,
Goldie.
he looks like Goldie, so he can pass for mixed race easily.
Right? And he decided one day that he was black, and he said, "Yeah, I'm black." And then they gave him the money that should have been given to
for
a black
people.
Black people. They gave it to him.
All this stuff just proves to me that Michael Jackson was right. It doesn't matter if you're black or white.
But it's mad. So yeah, so people are taking the money, man.
Yeah.
Rachel was taking the money out here.
This is Rachel's cousin. This guy you're talking about.
I'm assuming so.
They are all related to Rachel.
And they keep taking Igbo names. Just want you to know that, yeah.
I don't know. Why is it? why is it always Igbo? I think why are you picking our people?
No, it's because
Oh, you're Igbo.
Yeah.
With a name like that,
no,
of course.
because the white man made it into Nigeria via the Igbo tribe, so we're the first ones they know.
It's Chiamanda's fault, man.
Real talk.
It's Chiamanda's fault.
Chimamanda.
Did you guys know about the talk that she's got with
Michelle Obama,
Yeah, I wanted to go, man.
I didn't know about that until it sold out.
I wanted to go, and people are, and the thing that's making me a bit annoyed. Let me not get
How
annoyed
can you
about
wanna
it.
go to that?
Let me not get annoyed about it, but it did annoy me though. Is that
Go on.
people are like, oh, why is everybody rushing to see Michelle Obama? I said, who's going to go see Michelle Obama when Chiamanda's in the building? I'm
Innit?
going to see her, fam.
Why are you gonna say her name properly?
Oh, why? What's that? What's right? Is that name of Chiamanda?
Yeah, Chimamanda.
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 You left out a syllable, bro.
Did I?
Yeah.
Chiamanda, mate.
And the Chimamanda.
Listen, you know me already. You know I like to
From
say
East
things
London,
wrong.
Chimamanda.
Chimamanda.
I keep you guys to go. That's who I want to
I'll
go
call
see,
her
man.
Shea
I've been
Butter.
waiting to see her for time, but she's coming. But every time she comes, I don't notice. So this is the only time I've noticed because of the fact that Michelle Obama's coming with her. That I noticed that she was coming. I was like, hey, she's coming again. So then apparently the tickets were going like for 4K. People were trying to sell the
I
tickets
thought
for
it was
4K.
£65. Those
It
Yeah,
was,
people
but people
are
are
reselling
reselling it for 4K.
I saw one.
whoever buys it is dumb.
I saw one
Proper.
for 70 grand.
That's crazy. I mean, back in the day,
70 grand,
70.
70,000.
Does food and head come with that?
that's what I'm saying.
Which one do you get first?
Like a mortgage. Like,
You have it together. Yeah, you're eating and you're getting head.
I don't think I want to have that.
I don't
type
want
of-
to do that.
I don't want to do that.
Right.
Why? What?
Imagine
I'm
you
just
do
saying.
that. Imagine you're eating stew and you touch her face casually. Put your eye. It's all right, man. It's
No,
not.
but if you drop the stew and it falls on you, then she just
And then, yeah, for real.
Well, you
But-
put
but-
stew on your things. You see what happened, bruv.
Well, back in the day, these kind of speakers spoke because we needed to hear them, innit? You get me? It was a voice that the masses needed to hear, some guidance, somebody to uplift them through the struggle. And now it's all about the money, innit? We're in a world where we're in a time when money counts, innit? But I don't know. I just wonder whether these people come and just talk for the sake of spreading the right word.
I mean-
And exactly, you say now because it just doesn't sound right. You have to make your money. Whereas back in the day, those real leaders, they spoke because we needed to. We needed to hear it.
Calling them leaders?
So are you bringing into question?
I'm not just talking about
Chimamanda,
Malcolm
yeah, yeah.
X and Martin Luther King. There's hundreds of different people.
Why are you taking this thing, man?
Are you questioning their contribution because they're women?
I'm not questioning.
Wow. Why are you getting him into that type of... He's been on Twitter like once now. You
No.
ready to get him blocked? Everybody needs
No, but you've taken it in the wrong context. I'm saying that we are in the time where money counts, and I can understand why it gets such a high billing where people are charging thousands to see
No, they're not
these
charging.
people.
They're not charging that.
Okay, well, people are reselling
Yeah,
their
it's a tout
tickets for
network,
thousands of pounds. So I understand the world that we live in now, so it makes sense. But
I don't think that neglects the message, though.
It just comes from, I don't know, back in the day, it wasn't like that.
I'm gonna wait out, so Mr. Stubbs looking at you. I'm gonna get confused when you're I think the ladies came to just have a talk and talk to women. I think it's
In general, yeah.
to have a discussion. But obviously, you charge your fee because you've paid for the property that you're gonna do.
And it was
whatever
only
is.
£65. That was the
don't know about only, bro.
the big
That's still
money.
money.
No, but the big money that we're talking
I mean,
about.
65 is all right. I mean, for two majorly prominent people
Yeah,
in
I
the
suppose
same
so.
building, it's just like
I'm not
one
saying-
was the first lady of the United States.
Do you know how much her husband charges for
Public speaking.
public speaking right now? It's in the millions, brother.
That's why she should.
I understand the world that we live in. I'm just saying that back in the day, it wasn't like that.
A lot of people were. Some people I saw on Twitter were saying, why you not rushing to go and see Michelle Obama after her husband did such things? And I was thinking, well, I don't say, well, you know, this woman has got like, she's a respected woman. Like, she's done
Yeah.
things in the end. Like, she's done her own things. Why are you now pushing her husband to be the only reason why people are going to...
I kind of
Patriarchy.
disagree with you there, because there's somebody that I've cut off in the family because of their husband has done something.
I think that was
But is
nonsense.
it-
by the way.
And because I just don't,
That is
because
a nonsense.
I've locked them off. So because they're,
But you don't know that person.
Yeah, but is that like a personal level though? Because
yeah, okay, go on. Sorry.
would I
sorry.
necessarily lock someone? For example, I get that I would lock someone off in my family if, like, you know, your partner. That's personal. But it's like with Michelle Obama and celebs, I don't have to see you every day.
No, you're linked, man. So if once I'm done with one of you, then you two are linked.
No, but I think it's different for celebs because it's like, I think now with other people who are not within our family, we can actually separate the two people. With families, it's harder to separate your husband because it's like, even African culture, wherever your husband comes, you're going to come. So either way, I'm going to see both of you at some point. With Michelle Obama, it's like,
All right, I agree.
she can randomly come in and...
I agree, but I just don't think it's as easy as you just de-link them. I understand that in what you're saying. I agree. Yeah, he is he, she is she. They're two separate entities. They're doing their two separate things. So he's going around now, you know, doing his stuff for the election or that's passed, and she's doing her thing maybe for building, I don't know, whatever she's doing, talking about women's rights, talking about children and literacy, whatever she happens to be doing at whatever time. That's what she's doing. But because they are still a married couple, unfortunately or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, each of their things bleed over into the other person's, and because he's the more prominent one, his stuff is going to bleed over into hers more so. So if you have a dislike or a hatred of Obama or Mr. Obama and what he's done, then sometimes it might taint Mrs. Obama.
I get that, but I think the same way as like people disliked what Bill Clinton done, but Hillary Clinton still got quite a lot of women votes but your husband was messing around with, you know, a secretary when he's married. So it's like a lot of women.
What's wrong with that?
a lot of women actually voted for Trump.
I know white women, but
Yeah. Well, that's what I was. Yeah. Yes,
yeah. So
yes.
I think because no one really disconnected Hillary from her husband. Yes, it was brought up, but people were still able to see her as a different person. But I think
No, she's more linked to Bill than Michelle is to Barack.
do you think?
Yes, I follow American politics. Trust me, she cannot de-link herself from Bill.
And I think society can though, to a point where people started relating to this woman.
I think that even the relation was still to Bill. That she was the wife that, you know, stayed by the husband, that did what he did, and she's a loyal woman and blah blah blah.
Michelle is far more independent
Detached, yeah.
of Barack. Than,
And Barack made it like that as well.
yeah, but even Bill tries. Bill stays out of her business. Bill stays out of her business. He doesn't want, because he understands.
That's because he's out there banking. You don't see how he was looking at Ariana Grande. Is it Ariana Grande he was giving the dirty looks to?
Yeah.
That dirty
Have
old
you not
bastard.
noticed that when she's doing her stuff, he's not by her side? So what you find with politicians is that the partner is usually by your side when you're doing this stuff. He stays away. He's like, you do your thing because I'm tainting. Well, maybe tainting is not the right word, but everything that you do, if I'm there,
I'm soiling
then
it.
I'm taking away.
Yeah.
It's like Boris Johnson's brother, Joe Johnson, quit as a whatever his position
Transport
was,
secretary.
Transport secretary, because he's kind of like he's upset with how Brexit's going. He feels that we need another referendum. He thinks Brexit's the worst thing for the UK. But what's trending? Boris.
Yeah, it's
Because
fine.
Joe quit, his brother Boris is trending. So that is how much of in the shadow he is of his brother, and that's the way it is like with Bill, and that's what it's like with Michelle. Unfortunately, if you're linked up with somebody that's super powerful, super prominent, super important, then you're just in their shadow. Always going to be in their shadow.
Can I just go back to the point that
Shout out
you
to
made?
Ghanaians.
Because I want to. I wanna ask the rest of the man them about this situation. So, if somebody from your family wrongs you, yeah, and they've got, let's say somebody's husband or wife wrongs you, all right? Do you now have to disown the whole family?
Yeah.
The whole family gets disowned because one person in that family done something wrong.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only because you're gonna always bring them, and it's like I want to avoid that, and I don't want you to choose between don't bring your partner when you're coming to sit or when you're coming to family function. I don't want to create that. So I might as well just lock both of you off, and I don't have to speak to none of you, and just let it be that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not personal. The thing is, because if it was just an issue of because you got issues with families, small things, yeah, blah blah blah. It's not a big deal. So we can have issues with family that's a small thing, and I can say, you know what, I'm not really friendly with that person, but the partner or whatever, everybody's looking at over here. I'm talking. Listen to me. Instead of having an issue with that person over there, I can still talk to you. But in this case, it's like I don't even want this person around the family home at all.
Yeah.
So it's properly lock off business, not just from me, but from the whole family.
Yeah.
So from when it gets to like, I don't want them around my mum and dad. Yeah, simple thing. So that's the discussion going on now. And I said that because it's that deep, the reason I'm not dealing with the wife is it's not because she's done anything wrong. She ain't done nothing wrong. But just like you said, Rejoice, you're absolutely right. I can't. It's not really right for me to try and separate you or put a wedge in between you.
Yeah.
Even if you offer that wedge, I'll leave him behind. It's not. It's no. That's your
Your
partner.
wife
Yeah.
snakes you like that.
Yeah.
Your children can't play with their children.
No, because this is the thing. I think they're trying to snake the way in, but it's like, look, you be there. What's it when you have one person got the infiltrator? You go in, and then eventually I'll make my way in later.
Yeah.
Nah.
Your children
stay
can't
there.
play with each other.
This is where I'm slightly different
Coco, beware.
from you two then, because I don't talk to the person that I've got beef with. You can be around, but you don't exist, and I'm quite easily and quite happily can behave as if you don't exist.
Not if I feel that you're a danger. If it's just that I just have an issue with you, that's cool. But not I actually see you as a danger. I actually see that you could do something. If it was just that you've done something and I just don't like what you've done, I've had that in family. That's not a problem. I'll get over that after a while. Maybe I'll stop talking to you after a couple of family functions, and then the third or fourth time, Christmas time comes, yeah, what's up, and that's it. It's cool. But I'm wary of what you can actually do, and because I'm so wary, I just don't want you around. And unfortunately, that means that, like I said, your shadow, your wife, is now part of you. And if she's around, at some point, you'll be around. And I don't want you around. So that's all. It's not beef thing. It's not beef. It's not a problem. No problem. But I'm just, it's self-preservation. If it wasn't for my wife and daughter, and let's say my parents, it wouldn't be an issue. I'd have you. Because I'm willing to take the risk. But I'm not willing to take the risk around my daughter. No. It's so important that I just cut it off. I was telling my nephew the other day, this is why I'm happy in life. You make things black and white. Make things easy. Don't make things complicated. Don't add the grey in there. So as much as it sounds like, wow, you're being kind of cold and heartless, I'm just making it black and white. What's black and white is what's important. The family and keeping them safe.
Yeah.
So is that having them in there, could it cause an issue? Potentially. I can see where it can cause an issue. I know everything can cause an issue. You can walk across the street and get run over. But we have to walk across the street, innit? I don't have to have you in my life. And that's, I see that as a bigger issue than walking across the street. I see that as a bigger issue than bloody bungee jumping. You are a potential problem. So just leave it. Leave it. Because if something ever happens, all I can do is look in the mirror and say, you saw it coming, You saw it coming and you just let it happen. Nah, I'm not about that. So I know it sounds cold and Wahala's not exactly happy with it. He disagrees. But those are my reasons.
No, I'm not saying I don't, in that particular situation, I don't care because I don't know both of the people. Well, I don't know one of them, so it doesn't really bother me that much. But if it was a case that it was somebody that was really close to us that we've known for years and whatever, and suddenly their husband or their wife pisses you off, or a new husband or new wife comes into the fray and they piss you off, and then suddenly, let's say that Mr. Wolf has his missus pisses you off, immensely pisses you off, does something that's really terrible that you don't like. So you don't like Mrs. Wolf? So he doesn't know where to speak to Mrs. Wolf again?
No. Like I just said, there's a difference between I have an issue with something you've done, I got a problem with something you've done, you've upset me, and I see you as a threat.
So if she was mad and she threatened you, one time you looked outside your window.
I saw her as a threat.
You saw her outside the window and she was cutting chicken heads and spraying blood on your window, saying, "This is what's gonna happen if you keep continuing to being in Mr. Wolf's life." And Mr. Wolf was accepting it because he's been. So then, would you be all right? What happens then? Are you going to continue to with Mr. Wolf, or are you gonna say, Mr. Wolf, your wife is mad?
I'll
I'm not
expect
in
me
movie.
to cut. I would expect him to cut me off
You expect him to cut you off?
Yeah.
I
And you'll be happy with that?
because the guy that he knows has now changed almost, because he wouldn't expect me to pick a mad woman.
You're right. Your wife did do that one time, though, didn't she?
No, anybody
Close.
any man or any woman can pick a mad partner. It happens. You can fall for somebody that's a bit mad.
You can,
Yeah.
but if you willingly stay with somebody who you know is local and you know that causes issues around the place,
Even that I can deal with. It's
Alright.
it's just if you're a threat to my family.
No, if you're
it's not even if you're a threat to me. If
if
you're a
you're
threat to
crazy,
my family.
aren't you a threat?
Not
if
necessarily.
you're actually
There's different kind of crazy, innit?
Where?
There's
you're
different kind of
crazy. He's talking about cutting chicken
Like,
heads
yeah,
and throwing it on
that's
your
a
window, bruv.
That's violence.
Listen, but rejoice.
Yeah, but rejoice. He was with a Ghanaian for 2 years.
Exactly.
Come
I
on
was gonna
now.
say,
Yeah, but I was 18, insecure and depressed. So that's different. That's
Wow,
me.
hold on. Can we just say that? She said, today at the Ghanaian man, you need to be
Insecure and depressed.
That's when you would get to that level, boy.
That's
You know
what.
what? Shout out to Kwame, man. Nah, they can't-
That's what I was there. So that's different.
But that's the Ghanaian saying, I'll wait my turn.
I mean, obviously he knew what he did, but it's just like more so. I wouldn't enter that relationship with a guy who was like that, because that's crazy.
Yeah, it happens.
You know, it happens, but I'm saying, but even if, for me, any sort of crazy, you're a threat. And what, you don't have to be a threat to be like if you're a threat to my peace of mind, you're a threat. That's it. If I have to swallow a headache every day, you're a threat. Because
But that's an actual mature way of thinking, and it takes a lot, or a Ghanaian, to get to that point.
You know what? If they get it,
I'll be honest with you, though.
We need to allow them, man.
Crazy woman vagina's fire, bruv. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's fire, bruv.
Can we all agree that crazy woman vagina is fire,
I don't think I've dealt with a crazy
I
one.
don't-
and not the
I don't know.
STD kind of fire. With
Rejoice is not.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
You know what? Actually, because I've been listening to a few sex podcasts recently, Black UK ones, and so there's Broken Pussy podcast. Shout you
Love
out.
it.
There's Just a Tip, and what's the third one?
Was it Loney's one, Laid Bare?
Okay, let's just stick with that. A lot of women seem to swing both ways.
A lot do.
So
a
you're
lot
saying
do.
like it's nothing, but it's
a
like
lot do. Like I know a couple of friends who do swing both ways, but it's just like,
Anyone tried anything with you?
nah. Because I make it clear, like, I don't eat pussy. I'm sorry.
She don't do it.
I'm sorry. And it's just, obviously, if you're going to be sexual with someone, it has to be like a give and take. And I don't believe in selfishness. So I'll just tell you up front. I'll be selfish.
You can fuck with me, but I ain't fucking with you.
like, you can do it to me, I'm not doing it to you.
You don't have to
Give
give
your
or take.
tongue. Take these fingers.
I think we.
Shout out Lady Andromeda. It don't have to be give and take, but one person can just be doing all the taking.
I'm not involved with her, fam. That one is a deep thing.
That's dead, man.
Well, you know what? A lot of the times, a lot of the Nigerian girls that I hear that swings both ways, it started from when they're from Nigeria. Anyway, it started from boarding school.
Yeah.
Boarding
a lot of
school,
shit
man.
goes on there.
Then like boarding school, stuff happens. I'm like, is it? I didn't know stuff happened. But yeah, stuff happens in boarding school that they get themselves involved with.
It's crazy. I've like
And-
heard like stories.
Let
Mad.
me hear some of these stories.
After they finish
So
playing hockey.
there's someone I know
Yes, let's stick it with that. Yeah, that's fine.
who went to a boarding school, and at the time I was 13, and
This country or elsewhere?
it was in Nigeria.
All right, okay.
So I went to Nigeria and I met someone I know, and she at the time she was telling me about how she has a school man or school husband.
All right.
And these times, I thought someone who's 16 in a school, even though that's still wrong, but these were like
Uncles.
fam. And I thought, wait, that's different. But she was saying how, yes, your parents send you money, but sometimes they buy you stuff that you keep, and other girls will get jealous and want you to hook them up with the guy who bought you a gift. And, other girls, if they don't want
So you start sharing the man.
if they don't want to lose your virginity, they sleep with girls. So technically, a man's not penetrating you because you've slept with a girl and you have not technically been penetrated. So loads of things like that.
Jesus is Lord.
It's so crazy. I was like, what the hell?
So this is what's going on in Nigerian schools.
Nigeria is filthy.
Nigerians to get down to grease.
Shout out Nigerians out there.
Listen,
We love the
actually, like, the heat is definitely making people freaky. Like,
Wow.
Oh yeah, off your shirt.
If you think you are going to graduate without
No,
sucking my cock,
I hate that video so much.
Ah, it's grimy.
You think you can graduate from this school without kissing my cock? You are dead wrong.
Because you know that man has said that to somebody before in his life. Because he was so happy in saying it. About kissing my cock.
Oh my god.
you have another thing coming. All right, okay.
In her face as well. Ah.
All right.
I need to know what happened though. 'Cause I don't know what happened after that bit.
You knows. All right, Rejoice. I'm gonna do this very quickly. You're gonna do this. Apparently, you want to talk something about fraudway again. So let's wrap this up and spit it out and quick it. I'm very confused.
It was mostly people. I guess it was the idea that some people say, "Oh, we should feel sorry for him."
Okay.
Yeah, it was just that.
But we should let's just add a little bit to this because he's gone further now. So I think the last time that we had a discussion about Fraud Bay was last week. And what was the last bit we had got to? He had just been caught and he was doing
community service.
But had he done the music thing by that time?
No, he hadn't done the music.
So I think he put like a small video at the time, just a little snippet of him doing whatever he was doing. And that's about it. But I think now he's gone to BBC One Extra.
Yeah, he's been in One Extra now.
That's it.
The lady's been on This Morning. It's been in the Daily Mail. It's been in the Metro.
Independent.
I don't understand how it blew up so, like this much.
Like now, if you search his name, his actual name, it's just fraud.
I want to know whether or not he's making
just
living
fraud
from it though.
Yeah, just fraud.
When it comes up,
yeah, like that's it. The videos of his video, and then it just says fraud underneath it. So it's just like I guess right now he has to push his music because technically no corporate job right now.
Did you reckon he got fired? Did he get fired?
Yeah, so someone who works with him put out a story how as soon as he came in, the manager or his boss said, "Oh, can I speak to you in the boardroom?"
Oh no!
And he tried to log on to his work laptop to find out he was locked out.
Oh dear! You know what? I was just talking to this about to one of my people that deals in IT. IT always find out first who's getting fired.
Of course.
Oh no! So HR first,
Mm-hmm.
and then IT straight after. They'll come up to you. They'll be like, can you block what's the name's account, please, and make sure they have no access to anything. And you'll be like, what? Why? Because they would no longer be working for the company today. I'm like,
Yeah, they do.
We're terminating their employment.
So that is the best way to find out. But you log in and you cannot log in. You just know you might as well just run from now. But I don't know, man. People are complaining that he's making money off this stuff. But what's the problem?
It's Fraud Bay.
What's your issue?
Right now, he's now a celebrity. Done.
But I
You
don't
think
think
so?
he's making money off it yet.
But you think you're gonna get the money from it though?
I mean, obviously he signed to a label that's unknown at the moment. So I just don't think I think it's like, because someone was saying, oh, he might do a tell all and whatever. And I'm just saying, with the tell all, if he's going to do that, then he has to sort of uncover the other scandals he's been involved with, like the woman beater, hitting women.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying, because there was stuff. What other things have they said that this guy's done? Because we didn't know last week. So go on.
So he's been
Established
accused
just like
of beating up girls.
Okay.
He was accused of beating up several girls. I think when it came out, people were saying, yeah, he has been aggressive towards women. He's stolen money. Well, not stolen money, but he's promised to pay people back their money. And like he'll ask girls for like £500, £600, and he'll just say, he'll lie and be like, oh, something happened to this, something happened to that. So you're telling lies to get the money, and then he would then pick an argument with those girls when it's time to pay back and block them. And then so it's kind of like scandals upon scandals upon scandals. He's picked fights with like people on TL. So it's just like, this is just the major one where the girl came with actual receipts. And,
Okay.
If he can't beat well, he wouldn't be asking for that kind of money, and a woman wouldn't be giving it either.
Yeah, his sex game must be on point.
He must be beating very well. You know what I mean? For the women to be handing out that kind of money.
She said it's disgusting.
It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, there's women that still saying he looks good though. Even now in his notorious form, there's people that will still deal with him tomorrow.
Of course,
course,
because some women are stupid. So,
Some people want to be in his shadow. He's a big person now. They're happy to be in his shadow.
but
They'll
he's the
catch some
dumbest
light.
fraud guy I literally have ever heard of. Because who uses their real name and the real address? And like,
I don't want to talk about them again, but he's half Ghanaian.
He's not Nigerian, innit? So
yeah, it's true.
I was saying the other day that Nigerians are pissed because we've been doing fraud for years. None of us ever got no shine like this.
we don't want it, bro.
Wasn't it
We don't
Nigerian that
want to.
sold,
We don't want the
sold
shine.
the fake airport?
Oh yeah, that was gangster.
That was sick. To sell a fake airport is lit.
That was gangster.
You know,
He
those
sold
stuff.
it for like 1 point something million, and the airport didn't exist.
Only million though.
Yeah, like
A whole airport. But I mean, don't get me wrong.
done-
I mean,
he made his paper,
it's
but-
not the whole airport, but airport that doesn't exist.
I go chop your dollar. Wow.
Who done that?
I have one guy, but still the Ghanaian guy was still the other the one that was in the UK that stole that 3-point-something billion. He was the one that went for it though.
Yeah, he
But
went.
he got deported though, innit?
Yeah.
You know, somebody asked us to talk about, or they brought it up on Twitter with me actually, because they said basically they treat him like the scapegoat because there's bare people doing it, and why is it all of a sudden this person is one they focus on and then they send him out the country? They said it's not fair, and I said, well, you know, it's not that he didn't do nothing, he did it, and if they want to deport you and you know you don't have your correct papers or you came here and you know you've only been there a certain amount of time, so be it. But they were like, I don't like it. They're just picking on this person because of their colour. And I said, all right, fair enough. I can see it. But I guess once you've gone down the road of criminality, it's in my place to now defend you.
True.
You know,
True.
I'm not Wahala that wants to give you a job in the mechanics.
Oh wow, you lot are still going about the job thing.
No, because people are praising it. We did a poll. We did a poll and it was basically 50-50. Half the people said, yeah, we it's a good thing. It's a good thing to do something like that. We should look after the people that have been punished in life. Once you've been punished, you know you paid your dues, and now let's help you to get back onto the right track.
Well,
Yeah, but
criminals.
unless you're fraud bait, because
Yeah.
he's paid his dues and people are still getting that.
He has not paid his dues.
He has had his community service and he's paid that back.
He has 26 weeks of suspended sentence. So technically, if he fucks up, he goes back in jail.
Yeah, but he's done.
He has not paid. He's not paid his dues.
But they've given him his
No.
sentence.
Nope, he has not paid his dues.
I go chop your dollar.
26 weeks.
I paid my dues.
All right.
Might be worth it, you know.
Shout out to the Gathering podcast. They sent a question in.
Crazy.
All right. So it would be very interesting for you guys to do an episode or a topic on your future sons. Do you fear, and Rejoice, don't be joining, because I'm assuming at some point you want children and a boy at some point. Okay, so you can join in the conversation. Don't worry about it. Your future sons, do you fear them going down the wrong path, etc.? Because I am scared to death to raise a son in this. They said in this London. So it's probably the Nigerian one that said that. So, do you have any issues or fears raising a son? I'm going to go to Mr. Wolf first because he actually has a son. He can talk about his experiences, his actual experiences.
Do I have fears?
Yeah, it's with all the knife crime, because we can link it with the crime that's going on recently as well. So with all the stuff that's going on, whether it's the police, whether it's the crime, whether it's the low grades, whether it's getting deported because when everybody else has done a crime and they're picking on you, do you feel, wow, this is a scary time to raise a black child in this country? A young king. So that actor doesn't have to worry because his child probably won't be black, because who knows what he's going to have a child with. But for the rest of us,
My God.
that are going to have fully black children, we have
Shade.
to worry about these things.
He raised you.
So go ahead, Mr. Wolf.
You just kind of
The way that he's looking at you.
crucified him, bruv, and threw donuts in his face at the same time.
The way he's looking at you. Your sperm is fully cleansed now. You can't have no children the way he's giving that witch.
But
bruv.
there's a lot going on out there. We're obviously going to veer into the area where there's been a lot of stabbings. Unfortunately, there's been 5 in 6 days or something like that. 5 murders in 6 days. And a lot of them, 2 of them has been in the area right where my son lives. So it is scary. You can't deny the fact. I'm trying to get his mum to loosen the reins on him, because as a mother, even if this kind of thing is not going on, you kind of smother your son anyway. It's just kind of the normal thing to do. But he's at an age where he needs to live a little bit, to be more free in London, to travel on his own. And when these kind of things happen, my argument to do that just becomes weaker and weaker and weaker, and I can understand. I don't know. I mean, all you can do is try your level best to bring up your son in the best way that you can, or bring up your child in the best way you can, and try to make them become a little bit more street smart when they are walking. If they are walking in a dark area, to not have their headphones on so loud, or not even to have their headphones on at all. Don't have money in your hand. Don't use your mobile phone whilst you're walking. Don't be a sitting target, basically, but there's so many different things that you can do and say and to your child, but they could still be a victim of mistaken identity, which one of the victims was this week. So I think it depends on maybe the area that you live in. You can go further out of London, and then maybe in about 10 to 15 years, it will follow you. So it's, I don't know, it's a really, really difficult question to ask. Is it scary? Yes. But I don't know. I'm a city boy. I grew up around all of this. So as much as there is a lot of stabbings now, a lot of this was going on when I was young as well. You know, God willing, and I kind of, pray and whatever. But I just hope that my son will get through this, that we will get through this difficult time, just like most parents.
I get what you're saying when you're saying it was going on, but the knife crime, I don't know about you, man, but I knew he had a knife in my school. I know that this man had a knife. This one here had a knife. And maybe this one had a knife. Now, the way it looks like now is that everyone's got a knife.
So you know who's got a knife then?
Yeah, but it's completely different. Like, you only have it's two men having a knife, and you know that if I mess with one of those two men, one of them may potentially stab me, to then be now 20 man in the school has a knife, and 20 man might stab you. It's a different, for me, it's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, but people ain't stabbing just for the sake, I'm a bad man. There is drugs on the street, bro. These kids are selling drugs.
Some people are stabbing. Look at that dude. I don't know if you saw the video of the boy. He's on his bicycle. A car backs up, nearly hits him, and he takes out the longest shank in the world. Tried to stab the man through the car window. There was some beef. I know what you're talking about, where it was on the daylight, innit?
I think there was
beef.
There was a beef.
There was long-standing beef.
Sorry, I'll take it back.
There will obviously be situations where guys just go for guys, innit? Just for some kind of minor beef thing. But these young kids are on the street selling drugs, innit?
But we've always been selling drugs.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but when it comes to the here and now, there's so much knife crime, not just because, I'm a bad man, and you're looking at me funny. There's a story behind it. You get me? So when they're doing their investigations, they're going through a backlog of different type of stories and different kind of crimes that are relating to it.
14, 15.
Okay.
I don't think 14, 15 was getting stabbed up the same level as they are when we was young, man.
That actor. Raising a son.
First off, I want to bless you with 6 daughters. Shit. And 6 granddaughters.
All right.
And curse you with grey hairs on your beard.
I've already got a grey hairs.
And a grey scalp.
Listen.
What do I care, man? None of these are curses.
A woman is not a curse.
None of these are curses.
No, a woman is not a curse.
But
the troubles that come with them.
You need to be careful about what you're saying, man. Because wishing
going out of a Ghanaian.
Ooh, that's a trouble.
There you go.
But he's going out with a Ghanaian, so for him, that's normal.
Look at his look now. Everything. These are not curses. These are not curses. And then what? All of your 6 girls are going out with Ghanaian men.
He's following
short ones as well.
They'll be following the father, though.
Men with square heads.
They'll be following the father. We're following the father. It's not a big deal.
No.
But any child is not okay. Let me not say any child, because that will come with the what's it called, the what he did to Mr. Wolf earlier. But if you can have a child, it is a blessing.
I said I bless you with 6 girls.
Okay. That's true. You did say you blessed her. You did say that.
All right. So,
but to answer that question, I would be fearful having a son, obviously. But from my years of working in the youth service, I kind of know what to look out for, and obviously how to guide my son down the right road, and hopefully he takes on what I say. You can't always be wary of the influences that are outside of your house, outside of your reach. So it's when you're at home, when your child's at home with you, you endow them with the most amount of information, knowledge, understanding of how street life is. When you do the guidance, you take them out on road and just pretend like when you was on road, what to look out for, what to be wary of, how to dress, how to act, how to behave. I mean, I don't know if we was going to talk about the film, The Hate You Gave.
I don't know.
But there's a part in that film where the dad gives the rules to the kids of what happens when they're stopped by the police. So even things like that, what to be wary of when you're in that situation, so you don't draw attention to yourself, so you don't stand out and be the one that's the troublemaker, the loudmouth, that will in turn get you in trouble.
I mean, touching on what you said about dress teach them how to dress. I was talking to one of my brethren about his son. So his son and my son, they know each other quite well. They've played in the same football team together, and we spoke about letting our kids out, just going out and traveling, like how we did when we was young. You know what I mean? And it's scary. But he said that our kids are almost, they are the target sometimes, you know what I mean? Based on the way that they dress, based on the way that they walk and talk. They haven't got their trousers sagging, they haven't got their bomber jacket, looking like they're mischievous. You get me? There was one time when I was driving my car and this kid must have pulled up in his bike and I nearly hit him. So I beeped the horn and he turned around and looked at me and he was like standing there like, what? The boy must have been about 13 years old. I told him off, but that's the dip. I mean, I look at him and then I look at my son. They're two completely different kids. You get me? So you're going to have that type of child who may look at my son when they're out and they may see them as a target. Let me see if he's got a phone or let me see what he has. You get me? So as much as we teach them how to maybe dress right or to walk right or to whatever, to be polite and all these kind of things, sometimes that in itself can draw attention.
But even on the flip side, you have to give them also a level of street smarts. Let them go out by themselves. Go to the corner shop first. Go down the road by yourself. Dude, they've got to have that freedom to do certain things so they can experience what is going on out there and be able to react in their own character, in their own light, so they know how to avoid situations without your guidance in the beginning as well. They've got to learn to walk on their own 2 feet, basically.
Simple.
Trey.
Bro, I don't know. My answer is I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know what I would do as a parent before I had the child because it's not something you think about. You ain't taught about it. Your parents don't teach you how to be a parent. The parents just spend their whole life pretending that they are experts at parenting, even though they freestyled as well. So for me, I don't know how to parent, and I've been doing it for 4 years now. I don't know if I'm doing good or not. There's no results. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, I can't tell.
Can she speak English?
Because
Can she read? I was judging both your children today, by the way.
Why is that?
Because I saw a little girl
Was there
playing.
a pageant or
I
something?
saw a little girl playing table tennis that was literally must have been about 3, and she was playing like a pro. And I was judging both of your children because they couldn't play table tennis the same way as this child. And I was coming to tell you both that I need to see the results in the next year if she can play table tennis the same way as this child can.
Well, I don't know. She can't play table tennis like that. But I don't feel like I'm doing my best. But do you know what I'm saying to you? I don't feel it's taking time.
Does your child love you? Does your child run into your arms? Does your child say your name?
Yeah.
She shouldn't say his name.
Oh,
his
dad,
actual
didn't it?
name.
About to say.
But she will call you daddy. She will hug you and kiss you and show you love.
Yeah.
Then you're doing a good job.
I'm not claiming that as a prerequisite of a good job.
No, and he's there. You get me? And, hold on, let me finish, bruv.
Not having that one.
Allow me to
The
land.
black man's in their life. Doing all right, innit? He's doing all right.
Hold on. He lives with her. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
In the same house?
He sees her more than 3 times a week.
Hold on.
Wasn't
Breakfast.
the
He
average
makes
8 hours a week? Wasn't the average 8 hours a week of how much dad spends with their children?
Dads or black dads?
No, you said dads.
Okay, I don't know. But if you're saying 8,
That sounds about right, though.
8 hours? That's a lot.
After I finish work and all that, it probably...
Yeah, I think a day. I think and sometimes like 16 hours a week.
Is that all these kids or just the one?
Oh, wow.
No, what I'm saying is that being there for your sons and daughters is really important. When I say be there, I mean you're in their life, imparting knowledge and wisdom there. I know a few kids because I coached football for a long time, and I know a few sons or a few boys who didn't have their dads there at all. And I think that there are some mothers who have done a fantastic job in raising their kids on their own, but they can't fill that void of a father. I also believe that there is a factor in the age of some of these parents having kids. Whereas back in the day, our parents, although they may have had us young, I think they had more wisdom, more of a fulfilling type of a mindset. They came from the Caribbean, they came from Nigeria, they kind of were forced to become adults quickly and to deal with life and parenting. Whereas some of the kids that are having kids now, I don't think that they have that. I don't think that they have that kind of, and I'm not talking about now, I'm talking about maybe 20 years ago. So those kids that were having kids 20 years ago, with no kind of wisdom or knowledge in their head, they don't know what it's like to live life. And then they've brought up these animals that are out there now that are killing that are killing each other.
How are you better than Hillary Clinton? How are you better than Hillary Clinton? You just called them animals, bro.
Super predators.
Some of them are animals, bro.
I didn't have an issue with that. Predators, like.
Let's not deny the fact that some of them are out there taking lives, bruv. Let's not try and sugarcoat the thing. Some of them feel that they have no kind of
empathy, remorse.
They are just like one of the videos that I saw today. It was yesterday. It was the one where the guy was a mistaken identity. He was just there. One of them ran away because he knew that there was beef, and the other one was like, "Well, what's going on?" The guy came, bang, stabbed him right in the chest.
Why you watch those videos, man?
Whatever. I watched the thing.
I saw that thing,
but I watched it, and it's the ease of just taking a life just like that. So for me, they're animals. Bro.
So the video he's talking about of I can't remember the young man's name. The child's name, but he got stabbed. This is one outside a chicken shop or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So basically, in Bellingham.
Bellingham.
All right. So yes, I didn't watch the video, but from what I can gather, there's well, Rejoice, you can say the thing.
So the video basically showed, I think he was just waiting around, and I think his friend was in the shop getting food, and I think at some point the friend came out, and the friend, I think, noticed someone on the bike, and the friend took off, but the kid who got stabbed looked totally confused, like, why are you taking off? And then the kid was looking at the guy like, what's going on? And the guy brought out a knife, and the kid was like moving back, and then the guy hesitated and just basically got him just right there
in his chest,
and it was so quick how quick he was stabbed, and I don't think he really clocks that the damage that this guy has done, and the guy just went off, and then obviously he died. It was like seconds.
So they believe that there was some sort of issue or beef, but it's a mistaken identity. That's why the guy didn't run. He didn't feel he had any reason to run. So he's like, I haven't done nothing wrong. Maybe even if you want to rob me, fine, take. But it wasn't even about that. It was just a straight shank.
He just looked confused.
The young man's name was Jay Hughes.
Oh, okay.
15 years old. My son is going to be 15 soon, and that just kind of hits home a little bit.
So rest in peace, Jay Hughes.
Jay Hughes.
So Simple, were you finished or?
No, I'm done.
Wahala?
I'm just trying to make enough money that this don't even matter.
I'm with you, bro.
I'm just trying to make enough money that this does not even matter. But, at the moment, I'm not at that place. But that's what I'm going to be real. I'm one of them ones that would leave. I don't want my child to be around with this. I don't want my child to be in a situation where he has to go to school and he knows that to him to navigate from home to school, it's like Call of Duty. After judge this estate because these men have got beef with this man over here.
And that's how they think.
I am not involved. I don't want that for my family. I don't want that for my life. I don't want that for your children. I'm putting everyone around here. I don't want that for any of you. I don't want them to have that same situation that some of us in the past used to have. Luckily for me and stuff, we lived in an area where things was popping off, but because we just was not involved, because they used to respect that back in the day. If you was not involved, if you was a civilian, then it's not a problem. I could walk through any manor and people, because they didn't know who I was, didn't make any difference.
Why do you think you wasn't involved?
Because we wasn't allowed out in the first place.
Why?
Because my parents just didn't let us out. But my older brother did some stuff, so that's why they banned us.
Right, okay. So it's like you kind of set the trend.
They said, like, you are not going out again now. Because your brother has done things.
And your brother's the firstborn.
Yeah, he was the firstborn. He was a practice child, innit?
Just like what Simple Simon was saying, innit? It's like when you become a parent, there's no blueprint to it. Nobody teaches you must do this. But to be fair, I have to admit that, it is part of my mindset to show my kids the ropes of parenting, because nobody kind of gave me that kind of information. I think it's important. The same way how nobody teaches anybody financial management and as we said before, consequences and repercussions and things like that. Nobody teaches you that. And I think that teaching people how to parent, there's no specific way, but I just think that there are a few things that you can impart.
Cool. So, for me, I just think that if I have a boy, I would just try my best to instill who I am into that child.
Oh God! So you want him to be angry all the time?
No, have you ever seen me outside in any type of shenanigans or beefs? You see me fighting?
Franco!
Have any of you ever seen me have a fight with anyone in the street?
Bruv, you're aggressive.
Have you ever seen me have a fight with anyone in the street?
All right, okay,
I have.
Okay.
No, you haven't.
Well, I didn't because I stopped you from having the fight.
But
You almost-
you've never seen me have a fight with
You
anyone.
almost had a fight with me once.
But have you seen me have one?
All right, okay. So
The answer is no. Instead of you just saying no, the answer is no, because I don't have to.
We don't know.
I've never got involved where anybody's looking to stab me. I've never been involved in any gang beef. And I've had all of this happen around me, and I've never been involved in it because I've managed to keep myself out. And I've had people blatantly say out to me, you know what? When things were kicking off, people say to me, you know what? I want you to stay away from that. You stay away from this. I don't want you to get involved in it. Not even that I was going to in the first place, but because they were protective of the fact that they know I'm not involved in that life, they don't want you to put you there. They won't put me in that situation. So unlike when the boy that ran off, that one would have dragged me with him. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I think if I have a child for the boy, I'm going to be shitting myself. Because right about now, it seems like it does not matter who you are or where you're coming from. If these mans want to, is it nank you? They'll do it. They'll do what they want to do. They'll harry their knives and they're looking to stab you regardless. They have no respect for life. Life means nothing for them.
That's the word I was looking
Life
for.
means nothing because their life is so bad. Maybe in their situation, they don't respect life. They don't have a happy place. They don't go home and respect the life that they live in. They don't feel like what they're doing on a day-to-day basis is something special. And again, that links to me to social media. They've made life seem like if it's not a certain epilogue, if it's not a certain use my word for me, man. You know the word. That's the one, right? It's not of that higher level, right? That your life is not correct. It's not right. If you don't have a Mercedes Benz, or if you don't have a big chain, or if you don't have the most money, you have racks or whatever, then your life is rubbish.
If you
That's
ain't
not
got
right.
thousands of followers and all these things.
If I can wake up in the morning and I got a parent in my house that love me and people around me and I can eat food and I can go to school and learn and have opportunity, as far as I'm concerned, my life's good. But for them, that's rubbish. And I need more. And if I don't have more, I'm going to have to go out and get stuff. And it makes them depressed. Plus, as much as I'm saying that we should highlight depression and stuff like that now, the bad part of that depression thing is that people are now using depression as some form of weapon for the foolishness that they're doing. I was depressed, so I was depressed. No, you wasn't. You were sad one day. The depression and being sad are two different things. And people need to stop using depression as their default for their foolishness that they're doing. So now these kids are going, I can't wake up in the morning to go to work because I'm feeling so depressed. No, you're not. You're lazy. Some of you are just lazy.
I want to hear from our guest though, as much as
And you shush then.
yeah. I want to hear from our guest how, because she hasn't answered the question. She just kind of touched on a little story. So I want to hear from our guest regarding, from your perspective. Do you have any brothers?
No, all girls.
Okay. How do you see it from a female point of view, a lady point of view, and
I'm going to skip to
when it comes to you potentially having a son, what comes through your mind when it comes to this madness that is going on? I mean, you're South London as well.
Yeah, I guess for me, I never really wanted to raise kids in London because I think it's too much going on. Because even growing up, I'd also saw knife crime and people in my secondary school carried knives as well. Like, you knew who it was. But I guess for me, it's like I'm stuck between, am I more fearful of having a son or a daughter? Because obviously I experience life as a woman, so I see things differently. And obviously as a black man, they've got to worry about the knife crime, and I've never had to walk in that fear of being a target in terms of someone coming to stab me. It's just more of sexual assault or this or that. So for me, it's like with everything, growing up, now I have to actually think about boys more in terms of, okay, if I have a son, how do I train a son versus how I have to talk to my daughter? And it's like, okay, I wouldn't know how to talk to a boy in terms of how to protect yourself, because I think from a mother's perspective, it would be like shield the little boy. But obviously fathers would be like, let him learn and grow.
Let him be.
So I think for me, it would be like, my thing is, if I can just scoop you and just lock you in a room for years until you're ready to go out, then that's the case. But I think my intention more is how am I going to raise a daughter to kind of handle certain things that is going to get thrown at you just because you're a woman.
Do you feel you're equipped then? Sorry, Cameron.
No, I was going to say that is what you're saying regarding the shielding thing. It's not even just the boys on the road. You got the shield. The boys have to be shielded from the man on road, the police,
police,
teachers, because we get targeted by them as well. There's so many. Huh?
No, sorry, go on.
What you say? What's the last thing?
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry means don't worry.
Shield them from the police.
The police.
I don't know why you have to get so overly frustrated. How many times over? I didn't ask you again. Actually, you asked you once, and I didn't say anything else after that. I was just trying to get my thoughts back again. Wow. All right. So so there's numerous things that these boys need to be shielded from.
Yeah.
That as you say, girls may not think about. But it was, that's exactly what you said. It's vice versa, because men also have to have these same thoughts about women. But I think men probably have better thoughts about what they should shield their daughter from than women probably have what they should shield their sons from.
But I think
because men are the ones usually doing the things.
With men shielding their sons from the daughters from certain things, I don't think men also impact certain information to the girls. I think it's a thing of like instinct. So men would just want to protect. But would you have that discussion about if a man does this or it shouldn't matter what you wear? But I think a lot of times men think about, oh, okay, don't wear short skirt. It's like, I feel like men want that innate response, but it's not the correct response, because there are loads of sickos out here and stuff like that. So I think from a woman's perspective, it's like we actually have to have that conversation with girls in terms of your body part, autonomy of your body and stuff like that. And I don't think a lot of men have that with their daughters as much. Some do, but I think they have that conversation with their sons about police, gangs and stuff like that, because that's more relatable, and you know how to convey it because you've sort of had to grow up as a young boy yourself. And it's like what you wanted to hear, you will say to them, but you didn't have to grow up, your mum telling you about your period and what that means.
Boy.
So
I don't know about the period one, but they'll tell you about man stuff. Stay away from man, innit? Stay away from man.
I always relate these kind of things to Boys in the Hood. Trey and his dad have those conversations with your sons, have those conversations with your nephews or your little cousins, little brothers or whatever. The boys need responsible men in their life.
All right. Okay.
You didn't answer the question, by the way.
You ain't gonna. Just leave him. Carry on.
No, we spoke a long time on that.
Yeah, but you're also be valid. So answer it, man. We're not by force. We have to go through every topic on the list, man.
Yeah, but there's an important one about this Grenfell Tower thing. But okay, I personally am not too worried. I'm not overtly worried. I'm not more worried for my son than I am for my daughter. I have no son. I've got a daughter at the moment, so I don't see the issue. I'm kind of like Wahala in some aspects where I want to build a bubble around them to some extent where they don't have to feel it too much. But I'm also one of these people that feels that worrying about something doesn't change whether it happens or not. Yeah. So it's not about whether I worry, it's about training them. And I love you used the word train earlier, Rejoice. Training your child to deal with certain situations. Like Mr. Wolf has said, it's not just about your child though. They're living in the real world. It's not whoever they happen to be, they may run up against somebody that doesn't have any morals, doesn't have any respect, doesn't have any this or doesn't have any that. And so it's not just about, well, my child is raised the right way. My child is, even if you're teaching them street smarts, but still, okay, somebody else is going to be more street smart, or somebody's going to be as street smart with a weapon, for instance. So it's not just about that, but worrying about it is not changing anything. And if I have a son at some point, then they're going to have to live in this world, and they're just going to have to deal with what happens. Cool. It's just my job to be the best parent I can be.
Yeah.
And that's that. In terms of what you said about daughters, though, I'm bang on teaching my daughter stuff as well. So I'm planning on telling her stuff.
Poor child.
Yeah. I always get confused at what age do you start telling girls? Because obviously with the whole, what's it called? Trying to bring sex education into the curriculum from the age of 5, I think it was. Teaching kids, not just women, but kids, about sex education. Obviously people were up in arms at why is it called sex education, but it's more so to do with the content rather than the name of the thing. So it's like, at what age do you start?
I think I'm gonna have to start young, because people seem to have children sex really young. So I don't want to be one of these naive people who is like, don't talk to my child about sex until they're 18 whilst they've been banging when they're 15. You get me? So it's like, I'm gonna have to start young. I'll figure
Yeah.
that one out. I got a few years until all of that. Hopefully,
When the film The Hate You Gave, which we'll touch on, just
The Hate You Give.
just the Hate You Give, sorry, that we touch on just a tiny bit. The father, the way the thing that stood out for me, just a tiny bit, was the way how he was raising his kids, and he imparted so much into them. And the younger one,
You know, that's what you just said already earlier, did
Yeah.
Baby Karen.
and the younger one, the really young, his youngest boy,
Yeah.
he did something in the film right at the end that he would not have done that if it wasn't for his dad giving him that kind of strength, power, and encouragement.
Yeah.
So, yes, I agree with you.
all right. So we all know about this Grenfell Tower effigy and the burning of it on
Yeah.
Bonfire Night. So, for those of international listeners, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but we have 5th of November here where we. What did we do? We
Bonfire. We just burn things down.
Isn't it Guy
yeah.
Fawkes?
Yeah,
Guy
Guy Fawkes.
Okay, Guy Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes is the
It's
only
Capleton's birthday.
guy, innit, that is celebrated for trying to assassinate
The
a king.
No, we celebrate the fact that he failed in his
Yeah,
assassination
trying
attempt.
to. Yeah.
Was it king or parliament he tried to burn down?
Parliament.
He tried to blow up Parliament. This is X amount of years ago, and for some reason we celebrate it every year by burning things. So
What you could have done.
there was a video going around of.
You need to tell them a little bit about Grenfell as well.
Let him finish.
Okay, there's a video going around of a crew of people. It seems like in a back garden where they've set up a bonfire and they've built an effigy of the Grenfell Tower, which is a tower block in the west of London that burnt down last year, just over a year ago, because they celebrated the year. It's gone fast, isn't it? And 72 people, I believe it was, died.
72 recorded people.
72
That they told us.
recorded deaths, so that they told us about.
But we believe there's going to be hundreds and hundreds
And,
of uneducated people still.
One of the things was that when people did call up and say fire, fire to 999, one of the requests was you should
Stay in the building.
inside the building, and whilst we put out the fire, that will help us out. If you're running in and out, it's going to stop us doing what we need to do. And the whole thing burnt. Like we said, so many people died. So these people have recorded themselves that they've built this thing. It's got Grenfell Tower on it. It's got people hanging out of windows, and they've put it on top of the bonfire. They've burnt it whilst they're mocking, laughing, and saying, "Stay in the house." And they're using the word ninja. Look at this ninja. Look at it. And I'm thinking, is ninja the word for nigger? That they're just smart
Absolutely.
enough. Because I know some black people, and they use the word ninja instead of the N word.
Yeah,
and
some
it's
of
like
it's
they're
that.
saying ninja. Look at this ninja here. Look at it. And I'm
Some of it is that. Some of it is probably Muslims.
Yes,
with the
burqas.
hijabs.
The hijabs.
Okay,
So the- the little
The
picture-
niqab. The niqab is
Yeah,
they call them
The little picture that they had on there was of
women wearing niqabs.
yeah.
And for those that don't know about Grenfell overseas, is that a majority of the residents were of ethnic background.
So yeah, they burned it on the effigy.
So obviously the video went round, got sickening. The police caught wind of it. 5 people have been arrested so far between the ages. I think of the youngest one was 19, and the oldest one was in their 50s.
Their granddad snitched, boy.
It was a granddad that's
One of them granddads said, "These are my grand people." I don't know if he actually told the police, but he was definitely in the newspaper saying they were sickening. I'm sick of them.
So it's a sickening video. But like I said, 5 people have been arrested under maybe the pretense they don't know yet of maybe hate crime, and the debate has been going on. Do you think something like this? Do you think you should be able to go to jail for something like this?
Yes.
Let's take out the race element. Let's say that we're not sure it's a racial thing. So they've just done something that's sickening.
Yeah.
They've mocked people that have. We'll add that on in a minute. But I'll just straight. They've made jokes about people dying. Should you be able to be arrested and whatever fined, whatever suspended sentence something for doing that?
Well, didn't they say it was like a public misconduct or something like that? Like, I think it was, I don't know how they kind of branded it, but I do think yes. And maybe it's because, let's say that, okay, forget the ethnic background, but the fact that there was a national death, like something like people died.
Yeah.
So it's like, would you do it for 9/11? Would you do it for any huge thing that happens? And I think is if you're doing something and recording it, because now it was just your back, like your garden, so that's private. You put it out in the public to cause distress and to cause manic or cause. That has to be legal. That has to be like wrong at some point.
Under what crime?
So it's 4th of July legal. illegal. Because in that the celebration of them murdering all of the
What's for sure? Americans.
Independence Day, them celebrating the murdering of all the Native Americans that they did.
I personally think it should. I think they're taking the piss out of, like, there's certain holidays we shouldn't celebrate because, like, 4th of July after massacred people, it's like, why would you celebrate it? But America's different. But it's just, but I just think with this whole Grenfell stuff, because it's like children, it hit home. It's like innocent people died, and I think it's like we can't even take away the racial thing because it's like it's hard to take that away from it because that is what is, I felt like, kind of motivated. And because it's like ethnic minorities, I don't think they'll mock a white family or white people dying it the same way they did and making racial slurs and, you know, trying to, you know, actually cutting someone within the car. But I don't think you would do that to a white person. Who are you going to draw? A ginger and just put on there and be like, oh, he's burning. You wouldn't do that. So it's like,
why the gingers? The gingers are their own separate set of people that have just been there.
They're the blacks of whites.
Oh my god,
true. But
yeah, watch the video "Born Free" by MIA.
But by the way, you guys said in the 4th of July, which is Independence Day, which is when the Americans broke away from the British. I think you meant
Thanksgiving.
yeah,
all the same
Thanksgiving.
white,
But even then, Thanksgiving is different as well. I was gonna, but I just to continue the conversation.
whichever one, man. I don't
Thanksgiving.
whatever one of the holidays they celebrate the killing of the people. Them.
But I think it was put down as public misconduct because you put it out.
Yeah, maybe. The thing about this is
because it's about free speech, basically. That's the point I'm getting at.
I don't think that they should be arrested for it. I just think street justice should deal with it. But I don't think they should be arrested for it. And it links actually to a big topic that was going on, I think last week as well, where one of the chief of the police was complaining that they're spending so much time dealing with hate crimes or whatever that they've not been able to deal with what we've just been talking about, street crime. They're saying they've got so many police looking at all these different hate crimes, like in Twitter, this person's called me an N-word, and this person in the street has maybe said something about me being Muslim. They're spending so much police time trying to deal with all the hate crimes that they're not actually being able to deal with actual street level crime. And they're saying that they need to start changing, maybe partially changing how things work regarding that. So in that respect, do I think that the police should be running them out to go and find these guys? No, I don't. I think that it's a sick thing that they've done. It's disgusting. I think that I would like something to happen to them, not murder, but something not nice to happen to them. But I don't know if the police should be wasting their time going out there to go and actually arrest them, because I don't know what they're arresting them for.
The police didn't look for them. They turned themselves in.
Yeah, but because apparently the police was looking for them as a crime. They said that they put things out to say we are looking for these individuals.
So, but I don't think there was an actual investigation, as in like they've put resources. I think it's just said that, oh yeah, we're gonna start an investigation, and they got scared and be like, oh okay, let's turn ourselves in, because if we do go to jail, it'll be easier to plead guilty than be found guilty.
Well, they were crime. They were worried about
backlash.
Backlash, because people knew who they were, innit? So I think that they turn themselves in for protection as well as being
simple.
It's weird, you know, when they're doing them rallies and stuff, and they have effigies of like Donald Trump and that, and they're burning them. Do people go to prison for that?
No,
simple came with the knowledge.
But America has a different free speech model than we do here.
They do,
but then there wasn't that is it Katie Griffin woman that did the whole beheading of Donald Trump, and she, like, people calling for her to go to jail when she beheaded Donald Trump in the video.
She didn't know, but yeah, she's a American comedian. She did a sketch where she beheaded Donald Trump, but it was like a really lifelike model, and so he's there holding up his head, dripping of blood, and like people from the left and the right were like, no, you can't do that. Like, as much as we don't like Trump, you know, blah blah blah, but you can't do that. That's going too far. So she got it, and I think she lost out on.
She lost out a lot of deals.
Yeah, on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
but so yeah,
I think it's illegal to do that in the UK though. You can't do effigy of the Queen and do that, and I think that's actually illegal. They'll see it as a threat to the Queen or something.
I don't know.
I think it's illegal. You can't do that here.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's like a term for it. I forgot what it's called.
Okay.
So then in that case, I guess we have some level of precedence. Then, yeah, I guess they could be prosecuted and go to jail for it. Like me, I was on the fence with it at first, because I understand and I can see the disrespect, and I'm appalled by it like everybody else. But at the same time, are we being again too trigger happy and suggesting that, oh yeah, you know, that should be jail time straight away, when in actual fact, although what they've done is very, very sickening, how many people are, how do you quantify how many people are directly hurt by that? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, it's.
I mean, could we quantify with the actual families who lived in the building? Like the amount of people who died, the relatives of those people? Isn't that a big enough scope of people who were directly affected, that if now they see someone who's doing this, basically mocking a brutal way that they have lost their family members, especially how people were named and listed and people went to certain schools, aren't at least those people should be taken into consideration that they seeing it will definitely be hurt by it.
That, and as well as the nation, because it was something that affected the nation. Everybody in this room was affected by it, was touched by it.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question then? So if these cameras wasn't phone cameras and they were actual video, normal studio cameras, and this was a comedy show and this was part of a sketch or something in a comedy show, would we all be saying that these persons should go to jail?
What do you mean?
As a part of the comedy sketch, they did like an effigy of Grenfell Tower, made a joke about how we care about something to do with what's his name, Guy Fawkes, and then burnt down Grenfell Tower, saying, made jokes about it. Would we all be sitting here now saying that this person should go to jail?
I think it'll be slightly different because they would have had the audacity and stupidness to air that on TV, and then
the FCC would have got involved,
and then they would have had a serious backlash, a really, really big one, because it would have gone out to a mass audience. So I think. Well, personally, answering the question, I don't know if you finish answering. I didn't think, or I don't think that there is enough scope for them to see prison time, community service. I don't know. I'm not sure that they have actually committed an actual crime. Stavros was talking about why do you watch those kind of videos? With the young man who unfortunately lost his life.
You do it in that voice, like, why shouldn't I watch videos of young people getting killed,
bruv?
If nobody watched, nobody watched those videos.
Let me finish.
And it wasn't popular. People wouldn't be making them.
Can I finish? That's all. I just want to finish my point. So Stavros was saying that bit. Yeah, because sometimes when I'm talking my piece, people don't allow me to finish. Just allow me to finish, bruv.
Listen back to this podcast. That's what I'm saying.
Huh? Yeah, I would say listen back to this one. But Karen, in go.
Okay, so just what Stavros was saying, why do I watch these kind of videos? I watch a lot of videos like that. I've seen a lot of crazy videos, some mad videos that have, beheadings and all kinds of things that I've come across. But watching this one specifically, the Grenfell, the tower thing, I was in shock. I had my hand over my mouth and I didn't know what to say. I was speechless. So with me feeling like that and still believing that there isn't enough scope for them to go to jail says quite a lot, to be honest. I don't think that they are going to go to jail. I don't think that they're going to do community service. And one thing that I did put out on social media was 5 people have gone to the police, or they're doing some investigation and may, get some kind of community service or jail time, whereas the actual fire itself, not one arrest yet.
Simple.
I was going to say that, are we consistent with who we decide to go to jail based on this type of action? So, for example, if the person who has an effigy that's being burnt or defiled of them is considered to be, at least by a massive minority, to be a bad person, do we then still care about jail time? Like,
man said a massive minority.
No. Yeah, so for example, like the toppling of Saddam Hussein's statue, do we then think that the people that toppled that should go to prison?
No, and that's what I'm saying. It's all about emotion, isn't it? It's all about the emotional attachment to this situation as well. People believe that
I think precisely. Only Rejoice is the only person that actually thinks there should be some sort of criminality
I think there should be, but I'm almost certain that there isn't going to be.
So what I gathered from you, Mr. Wolf, was that there shouldn't be. But okay, so all right, so Rejoice and Mr. Wolf feel there should be some sort of criminal
retribution.
Yeah,
I just don't think that it's going to happen. I
don't think it should happen. I think there should be free speech. I think you should be able to say what you're saying without, as long as you don't physically hurt somebody.
But then, my thing with free speech is when did free speech mean? I swear that was mostly for the media. That it created for the media, that the media were allowed to say what they want without presidents or thing being silenced.
That's not.
Is there even free
That's-
speech in
that's-
this country? Is that part of our laws?
I don't know. 'Cause I thought it was just media based. Like the media can print what they want in terms of politics, and
Well, the media can't. They can't. Anyway.
Well,
So-
there's a
so-
level of free speech where
Yeah.
you cannot go beyond a certain boundary, and you will.
So does free speech mean no consequence? Because
yes. There's hate speech, and in America, I know you cannot. The example they always give is you cannot scream fire in a crowded theater. You can't put people's life at jeopardy with your speech. So you can say what you want, but if what you're saying puts people at jeopardy, then that doesn't fall under the
so
line of free speech.
is that more on an individual basis? So, for example, them, saying all these things like the comments they made in the video.
Yeah.
Is that free speech, or is that looks like hate speech to me?
The hate speech,
because it was
yeah.
quite racially motivated, and that's not free speech because it's like you were mocking ethnic people dying.
Yeah.
So that
it wouldn't even matter if they're dying or not. Once you start mocking people due to their ethnicity, then
Yeah.
that comes under hate speech.
So if that's
And like Wahala said, maybe the police have an issue with having to chase all this stuff up.
yeah.
Well, we can continue. Let me not.
But
cut you off.
if that's hate speech, then why shouldn't they go to jail? If hate speech is to be now a crime.
But have they actually used any racial motivated language? Like, have they used one that can be identified as racially motivated language?
Well, the ninja one.
But somebody
ninja-
we just said ninja, but it could be four different things.
But then surely putting people with the carbs on there as a board.
But we know that
is-
those people with niqabs that died in that fire.
Yeah, but then why didn't you put white people as well? Because white people were in the building.
They did.
Did they?
Did
I
they?
don't think
I never
they
saw
did.
them.
I never saw a white person.
I think they were cardboard.
That person was just lazy.
Colours.
They didn't color in it.
Maybe they didn't color it in, but it was brown cardboard.
But the point
It wasn't
is
white.
that they had different people there.
So if they done the same thing with the Jew thing that happened was
they would have been
In America, where the 11 people got shot inside
no
the
the
synagogue.
actual Holocaust.
they would have been jailed like time.
Oh.
They would have been
And
jailed.
then
Why?
about in the UK, but in America, definitely.
But that would come under hate speech then.
But
Yeah, but
Because you are fully targeting a racial
one population of people.
Yeah.
And that's what we're saying. That
But aren't you targeting
but the-
ethnic minorities?
No, but they're not. You can say
the
that
people in the
because that's
building were of ethnic minority, like
well, because-
90% of them,
yeah, but
and most of them were actually illegal immigrants. People know
Yeah.
in that building they were ethnic minorities,
okay.
Asians,
All right.
Africans,
I'll give up.
people
I
of a
think
Muslim
it's
background.
because they didn't actually verbally say anything, but it's like what this country does, and I hate is that they pretend they don't know intentions, and you know it. So it's like
Because you can't.
but then you
prove
can't.
it,
Yeah, you can't prove
an
it, and
intention.
that's the whole thing. But sometimes when you can, white people don't necessarily get prosecuted for a lot of things.
Yeah, but by law, if you big up Joe Biden by law, if you try to do something by intention, you have to be able to prove that was the intention was a hate crime or a race crime. Hate crime may be more easier if that's not linked to race. I don't know, but to say that it's racially motivated,
It's the same banner.
I don't know because it's all down to interpretation. It's all down to
So,
interpretation.
yeah, because if I say I hate blacks, whites, Chinese, Arabs, like who do I hate?
You hate everyone but white. So but you're still racial. You're still racist, isn't it?
Yeah.
Against who? Against who?
Against all of them. Everyone that's not you.
If you're white and then you say you hate everyone
Apart
except
from whites,
white,
then you're racist.
That
isn't
is
it?
racist.
That is the epitome of racism. You hate everyone but your Aryan self.
Unless you say you hate everyone, including whites, then
It's still racist.
Yeah, you just hate everyone.
you just
So
hate
going back
everyone.
to
But you hate everyone based on their race.
On their race, yeah.
And therefore
Okay, yeah,
it's
that's true.
racism.
Yeah.
Going back to what you were saying about the videos, Mr. Wolf, yeah, and I'll touch on it lightly. Just like most things in the world, the reason why these videos are being made is because people watch them, and if people stop watching them, and you could see that there was a decline in people watching them and sharing them online, sharing them on Twitter, sharing them because people put this shit on Twitter as well, on Instagram, blah blah blah. Then maybe these guys won't be going out there because a lot of people do. As much as you might think of it, some people do these stabbings for fame and to be seen and to be known. That's why they're there with their cameras to show the stabbing in the first place.
I mean that was sent in a group, in one of my groups, and had I have known what it was, I wouldn't have watched it. I haven't got automatic downloads, but the guy said watch this, so I thought okay, I will watch it. And when I saw what it was, but if he had given me prior warning to say that this is the kid that got stabbed and this is the actual video of it, I wouldn't have watched it.
And to those people, I think you're wrong. Those people are very wrong. You should never put a video of somebody being killed or whatever and tell somebody else to watch it without giving them full explanation as to what that thing is. I think that's disgusting. I know they're not doing it on purpose, but I personally do not want my brain to be filled with images of somebody being killed. I do not want to see that. I do not want to know that when I go to, because these things stay in my brain.
I think
they don't leave
our
me.
brains have been intentionally numbed now.
Yours have, but mine hasn't. Because mine hasn't.
Okay.
I've seen those stuff in my head.
Things.
Okay, well that's fine. I would say that a majority of our brains then have been numbed.
No.
That when people see these things, it's in films now. It's like the way how they show like a certain killing and the way they do certain things. When you now see it in reality, it's not so much of a shock.
I think if certain videos like that has gone viral, then yes, we have become as a society quite desensitized to murder and killings of children, because it's like if it hasn't, these videos won't go viral and you won't even know there's this video out there. Do you get what I mean? But because the fact that you even know that there's a certain video of this kid getting killed, it's like at some point society has become numb to certain things, because I shouldn't be able to know that I've got to be careful how I scroll in case someone retweets a video of this kid getting killed, because people just like to happy share and whatever.
I don't think it's numb. I think it's ease. It's easy for these things to go out there, so that's why it's out there.
Don't you think it's a new form of another stream of news though? Because usually in news broadcasts, we never get the full story. We never get the full understanding of what had happened. And I'm not condoning it. I'm putting it out there as a possibility or another way of looking at it. Yeah. Seeing these videos is almost like it's news. So it's like, this is what happened. Here's a version of the full context of what went down.
I don't usually swear, man. But fuck that. Yeah, allow that. It's not good to send these things. It's not good to be watching them. You shouldn't be promoting it. You shouldn't be advocating for it. You shouldn't be legitimizing it by calling it news. It's a nonsense. No, let me finish, man. You've been cutting people off, man. Don't do it. It's disgusting. Yeah, these are our children. Yeah, this is important. We can't just be make it like it's nothing. We shouldn't be. Look, we are adults, yeah. And we're co-signing it, or we're trying to defend it, or we're arguing for children spreading videos of other children killing children. No. No. So we're just talking about, are we worried about our sons growing up? But it's cool to watch these videos of our sons being killed, of our cousins, of our nephews. No.
I don't think
let me finish, man. There's nothing. 0. There's nothing. Let the police. God. I know you hope they don't do it, but let the police do their job as policemen and women to see these things and deal with the situations that arise from it. Because the minute, like Rejoice says, we become desensitized to this. The minute it becomes normal, then we keep putting it out. If it wasn't normal to send the videos out, maybe it wouldn't be normal to do it in the first place.
All right.
If we weren't spreading it so much, then maybe they wouldn't be doing it so much.
In saying that, you say let the police do their jobs. No. Now, for a portion of time, the police have traffic cam and body cams on, so they have to record everything that's going on. More often than not, their body cams are turned off or the footage is deleted. So if someone else is filming what's going on, that's news. You can see exactly what went down, and then you can dispute what's being said. So I'm not saying, let me finish.
Police brutality
let me finish, bruv. Let me finish, because you finished, so let me finish.
I didn't finish, you cut me off, but carry on.
No, you did finish before I came back in.
Can we not be petty with the cutting off business? Just say
whatever, yeah? So let me fucking finish, and then you can finish. So what you're saying, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. And I'm not saying what I'm saying is right. I'm just pointing it out there as a general consensus. This can be deemed as news because we never get the full story when we get the news.
Kids killing kids is not the news.
No, but let me...
I'm not saying kids killing kids is news.
But that's what we're discussing.
That's what I was saying. So when you talk about police, whether I'm assuming it's some sort of police brutality, it's not the same thing as what I'm talking about. By all means, record policemen doing the wrong things to citizens. Okay. That's different than a child killing another child and spreading it out. Wow, look at this. For what reason? They're doing it for infamy. They're doing it for the notoriety.
Can't always say they are doing it.
They are, because they're the one. Listen, this video would not go out if I didn't. I'm not saying these are not videos that somebody from down the road was filming in, huh? Some of these videos are your bridging right next to you, filming it. Hold on, let me finish, because we'll do this. Let you finish business. No. They're filming it right next to you to show the man them and say, look what happened. And they're putting it on Snapchat. Right. Some people are live snapping deaths, you know. Live snapping deaths.
Hold on.
And like I said, I'm not saying that they're doing it for that. I'm not condoning it. I'm saying look at it as another version of news.
It's not news, man.
All of it.
It's not news.
Is purposely done. There are videos you see someone across the street seeing an atrocity happen or seeing an
Take that to the
injustice
police.
happen.
Exactly.
And but they do send it to the police.
No, they don't. They
And if
put
they
it-
don't send it to the police, they put it out on social media so everybody can see what's going on, the
Right.
injustice that's
No,
going on.
no,
Okay,
no,
hold on,
that's
Because
not an
more often than not in the news, you
That's
don't
not
get
an
the full
injustice.
context of the
That's
story.
not an injustice.
Hold on,
Come on, man, look at it, read.
That is not an
Open
injustice.
your eyes.
That is not an injustice.
Hold on,
Please don't tell me read that. Open my eyes.
No,
That
open
is
your
dumb.
eyes. It is
What you're
though.
saying to me right now
If you
is
don't-
dumb. If you're telling me that a child is going around shooting
I'm not
people,
saying
hold
that,
on, let me
though.
finish talking. But that's what we're talking about. So either you're talking about something that no one else is talking about.
I'm talking in
or
the
you're
general
chatting
construct
rubbish.
of this whole thing.
Because you're telling me
I'm
now.
talking in the general
You're telling me now
construct
that it's
of this
news.
whole
It's
thing.
news. It's news to come and show me a youth being stabbed in the street. Because the thing that they haven't, sometimes they haven't even sent it to the police before they've uploaded it
Like
to
I
social
said,
media.
Wahala, I'm
That's
talking in the
bullshit.
general construct of the whole thing. So I'll give you.
It's not news.
Let me finish. I'll give you an example then.
Go on then.
We come out of where we're recording now, and you see an incident happen across the street.
Yeah.
Nobody calls the police. No
Yeah.
one knows what happens. You happen to record it on your phone for evidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you send it to the police. The police still don't do nothing. You put it out on social.
I want to put it out on social media.
Why not?
Because let's say that the person's child, that could be, this is the thing, that's somebody's child, right? Now, I'm somebody's father and somebody else's mother has to see my child being stabbed repeatedly on social media.
Bruv.
And people are making comment on it. Webs, do not piss me off, bruv.
Again.
Do not piss me
No,
off.
listen.
No, because you're talking like it's
listen
fine.
to what you're saying.
It's not fine.
You didn't listen to what I was saying.
I heard
Listen
exactly
to-
what you said.
No, you didn't.
You said to me,
Bruv, you didn't
why
hear
would
what I
go
was
for the
saying.
police
You
and then
didn't hear what I was
upload it?
saying.
No, I wouldn't
If you heard what I was saying,
I'm not a dickhead.
If you heard what I was saying, then you know what I said. I said
what is
if you saw an injustice, I
Bruv.
said if you saw someone's child
I don't
being
give a fuck
stabbed,
if it-
I said if you saw an injustice.
I'm not uploading it. I'm not uploading the injustice.
So if someone, alright, if
I'm
someone
not
else,
uploading the injustice.
And it's gone here.
talk, we're having a banter, we're having a discussion.
I'm not uploading the injustice.
Okay,
No, I'm not
okay.
uploading it.
Hold on. Sorry, Joyce. I muted everyone's mic but yours, but I was gonna let you tell him to shush, but don't worry, you're busy smiling, looking nice. All right.
I wanted to make a point.
Please make your point quickly and let's go because we're done. Yeah, because I know you wanted to make a point. I know you got your hands up. I'm gonna let you make a point. But Wahala and that actor, that's kind of like done now. We can continue after because we've run out of time. Mr. Wolf, make your point. Simple Simon, if you've got anything to add, you make a point. Rejoice, if you've got something to say, make a point. The three people that got a bit heated, we'll just cool down and let these three people say their things. Mr. Wolf quickly, and then we're done.
Okay, well, I'll be as quick as I can. Just to add to what you were saying, Stavros. No one's saying that the point that you was putting across is wrong. That people shouldn't watch these videos, because I said that it's a video that was posted in the group. That had I have known what it was, I would not have watched it. Second to that, it was CCTV. Not anybody with their phone recording an incident. It was CCTV that was given to the police. And then ask yourself, how was it posted on social media? Because I have my own theories of how these things find their way on WhatsApp, on Instagram, on Twitter, and then throughout the whole world in the newspaper websites. So I agree with you that these are people's children, that we shouldn't be watching them. Personally, like I said, I wouldn't have watched it had I known what it was. But there are people who don't care. And as much as you're saying that we shouldn't be doing this, that we shouldn't be watching those kind of things, that's fair enough. Not everybody is like that. And there are some horrid people out there that take, I don't know, they almost have an enjoyment with watching these kind of things. So I agree with you. Those kind of videos shouldn't be put out there, but sometimes it's not your people who's putting it out there, bruv.
Okay.
Yeah.
Simple Simon.
No, I ain't got nothing to say.
Rejoice, we are finishing, but you say your last point on this. If you got something to say on this, you will be the last person, and then we'll do our church notes and our goodbyes. So, we got any last words about this topic, about the Grenfell thing or the videos being sent around or anything like that?
Like in relation to the video, I feel like I get everyone's perspective, and I guess it's, in certain cases, certain videos can be evidence, and it's just unfortunate that in today's society is that we can't even trust words of witnesses. Now we actually need visual evidence, which is unfortunate. So obviously if someone's kid is been on the video, I don't think it should be shared, and I don't think it is necessarily news, but it is a good form of evidence if, for example, the media does not report the full story and we see it. With kids nowadays, kids don't really care what they share. Like they like these 16-year-olds don't care. Like my little sister will share whatever it is she needs to share. I think it's just adults who are doing it that we know much better. We know how we should behave.
Yes.
And it's like, why would you as an adult want to share a child that's being killed? It's not even like stabbings. It's even, you see like women being like maimed. Why would you want to share an image that's so sensitive? And because children are more precious, it's like we shouldn't. I don't think we should share, but recording it or presenting to the police at some point is like, if we keep all these things in, do we believe the media's full story if that's not the full story? And how do we as people know the truth if nothing is seen? And most times it's not actually people recording. Most times it's leaked CCTV cameras. From like the boy, it was a CCTV camera that's been leaked. So there should be maybe a law in terms of why that's leaked and who leaks it, because technically we shouldn't have seen that boy get killed in that instance.
Okay, wonderful.
Wonderfully said, isn't it?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Thank you for putting a pin on the subject and the episode. So we're going to do our church notes and our goodbyes. Let's start off with Simple Simon, who's calmly sitting there in his zen-like state.
Leave it to us.
Ban
Leave it to
Simple
us.
Simon, ban him, man.
That's Simple Simon FB on Twitter. I got a film recommendation. It's an unlikely one from me and just unlikely in general. The film is The First Purge. It is actually the last of the Purge movies, but it explains how the Purge started. And to my surprise, it's a very good film.
Oh, I'm gonna watch that then.
Big analogies, racial analogies on the thing, innit?
Yeah, but it's a very good film.
It's got a TV show now as well, isn't it? The Purge.
Yeah, Amazon.
Yes, like I've seen all of the rest, and for the most part, it seems to be mindless. But this one's got some deepness into it. They really did something.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna watch that then. Big up yourself, Simple Simon.
All right, so Simple Simon FB on Twitter. So Big Wahala.
Hi, Big Wahala on Insta. At Big Wahala on Twitter.
You done?
I'm done.
All right. That actor.
Yeah, DATACTOR, Instagram and Twitter. 2 recommendations or 2 notifications. One is Trevor Noah's Netflix special, Son of Patricia. If you all know Trevor Noah.
Is it old or new?
It's new.
Okay.
He's a South African comedian who is the host of The Daily Show. And he's having a comedy Netflix special talking about his life.
He's having a comedy
Netflix special. Make sure you bloody see it, please. Thank you. And also on the 15th and 16th of December, it's Women of the Lens Film Festival.
Plug.
Yours truly has a film which has been submitted and will be screened at the film festival.
Plug. I saw that.
Can you put it in the group, please?
If you read it.
Can you put it in the group, please?
Because my wife had to tell me about this one as well. It's like my wife is always telling me about your business.
It's in the group. I put it in. Well, it's in Twitter. It's in Instagram.
Put it.
Don't go
in the
anywhere.
Group. Don't go. I'll put it in the group.
Don't go anywhere.
I had an issue reading your things, but yeah, it was there. So congratulations on having your. Well, spill the beans a bit more on it. So you've what produced and co-wrote?
I wrote, directed. I wrote, produced, and star in it.
No
It's
role
a
for
short
us, man.
film.
You know, not one role for us,
It's
man.
a story of love.
So
Yeah.
well, so I can't love no one now.
Well, not after
Not each
that
other.
beef. No.
Don't go anywhere.
So yeah.
Are you ready,
What do you like?
Yeah, go on. I mean, yes.
Mr.
go on.
Wolf? Mr. Wolf.
You can catch Mr. Wolf on Instagram on AKA Mr. Wolf. I've got 2 posts on there now. Boom. And on Twitter, AKA _ Mr. Wolf. This is something that I just saw today, which is unfortunate. I would have told you guys about it last week. It's going to be taking place tomorrow. So hopefully I might be able to pass through from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. tomorrow.
When you say tomorrow, you mean last week
tomorrow.
for everybody that's listening?
Yes.
There's no point even.
There's no point in you saying it, really.
Yeah, so
Like a somebody.
No, say the thing.
Yeah,
Say the thing.
Where you'll be going tomorrow.
If you would allow me to finish, I did say that I may be going. So if I do go, I will give you some feedback on the Obatala Day Festival. It's to honor our king of somewhere.
His face the way
Hold on,
he's
honor Obatala in white. Yeah, well, basically, it's taking place in Kilburn Park High Road in northwest London, and celebrating the Yoruba father figure of Orishas. there you go. And I may be able to go there tomorrow. So I've got a day off, and I've got the youths them. So we'll see.
All right. So by the time you listen to this, Mr. Wolf would have taken the youths them to celebrate the Orishas, the Nigerian ancestral deities. All right. I am Stavros Boss. You can catch me at Stavros Boss everywhere. Stavros Says this week is the film Widows.
Have you watched it?
Yes.
I watched it.
It's I watched it with our nephew. So big up D. And I came out. I said, "Yeah, that's a good film. And then he picked it apart.
Yeah,
and I was
because
like,
it's not that. It's not that good.
I want to discuss it with people. I want to see if people because I was like, I just watched it mindlessly. It's an action film. Let me just enjoy the action film.
So much
and he went, but he enjoyed the film, but he's like, yeah, but this and this and this and this. And I was like, man, just spoil the thing for me, Let me just enjoy the film.
Did he not enjoy it?
No, he said he enjoyed the film.
It was alright.
But he just picked certain things that were, all of them were absolutely correct. And I was like, I wasn't even paying, because I was watching it, sometimes with certain films, I'll switch my film off. I'll switch my mind off. And with his films is Alexander McQueen. Is it Alexander? Steve McQueen. You can't usually with his films. His films are very, very deep. And but this one is not. It's a bit more.
Just know that
he's came out of his genre range. That's why
I watched it at that same cinema.
Did people walk out?
And a couple people still walked out.
Well, from the first scene.
Is this the notorious cinema that people just like to walk out of?
When they see faces they don't like.
Anyway, so Widows by Steve McQueen is starring our sister,
our auntie. What do you mean?
Sorry, Auntie
Viola.
Viola Davis. So yeah, she picks up her bag and goes in a couple of scenes. So everyone's cool.
Can I ask? Is it the same? Is there anything similar to the TV show? If you remember the TV show,
the TV show come out in the 70s or something, innit?
In the 80s.
I don't even know. I don't even heard.
And it was a miniseries. It's like a 6-part miniseries.
Yeah, miniseries.
Yeah,
I thought it was a book.
He based it off a miniseries. Maybe it was a book before. Who knows? But it was a British miniseries in the 80s. And I didn't watch it. Yeah, I didn't watch it. So I can't answer that question. Sorry. But Mr. Wolf, maybe you did, because you would have been about 20 at the time.
In the IDs.
Do you know, somebody posted the other day that they think that you and Stav they said, I didn't actually know that they were really that old.
I'm not that old, bruv.
Well, to them you are.
Because I said I was born in the 70s, people were like, what? 70s?
Someone called you Jay-Z's age mate.
But Jay-Z, for those of you that want to know my age, I think Jay-Z is approximately 10 years older than me.
He's like 47, isn't he, Jay?
47,
48.
But actually, I'm not one of these people that's shy about my age.
Really?
I'll be 40 in the middle of next year. So hopefully we'll have a nice big celebration for big 40-year-old Stav. Big stuff. Rejoice, social medias and anything you want to promote or whatever.
Social media was Reggie Yates, REJIYATES, and I'm not going to say Instagram because I don't use that. And also, if you want promotions or promote your stuff or advertise your stuff, then you can message me on Twitter and I'll give you my rates and we can go from there. And also I can say thanks for having me on this show. It's been quite good.
Yeah,
thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'm happy that we've been quite good,
Obviously you've been great.
Obviously. So just think about your rates, and if you want promote, you say what it is, because some people.
So I basically I charge for retweets, quote tweets, merchandising, and also if you want me to post a link or video, there's like a bundle link as well.
How many followers you got?
17,500 and something.
You got any friends that I can borrow their credit card so I can get bundle links?
So I was gonna say, how much did Michael Modern pay you?
Oh God, no, never.
He gets free retweets. Don't worry about him.
Oh no, never. I mean, certain people get free retweets if you're good friends, like if you do an event. But if I don't know you, don't be cheeky to.
Was Michael related to your ex?
Oh, I bloody hope not. Because if he was, then no surprises. But
is it that deep now? People have to pay you to promote to retweet you.
That's how people make money.
It's their business, man.
It's my platform, and I'm giving you, because if I get, because I get on average 10.6 million impressions on my page. So if I am putting, if I am putting your stuff on there for 10 point something million people to see it,
I love the swag.
You got to pay me.
I love the swag.
Pay me. Pay me.
She's in that.
I ain't paying
She's a Nigerian for real.
So would this
What does
mean
that
now,
mean, bro?
because you've appeared and guest on our show, we will get free advertising?
Of course you would.
Like you.
All right, okay.
So you need to put together something nice.
All right, you can catch us collectively at ESN Podcast on all your social medias, or search for Eloquently Saying Nothing on Facebook, which we hardly ever use. You can send in an email to esnpodcast@gmail.com and send us any questions or comments. You can send us there. Did you mention the nice email that we got a couple of weeks ago?
No, because they asked us not to mention them.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to mention them or even what the email said, but just say on the actual podcast. Thank you for the email. We all read it, and it was interesting, and hopefully we did some good.
Yeah, and to be honest, anyone that shows us any form of love on any of our platforms to say, congratulate. We get a lot of love from people saying, we've done a good job. And even sometimes they get involved in the discussions about when we think we haven't done a good job, and they say, you know what, you lot did better than you expected and stuff like that. It's nice to see feedback. So continue that feedback, and please rate and review us, as Steph said, on all the platforms that you've got. We're now on Spotify as well, by the way. If anybody wants to be on Spotify, we've joined the masses of that. We've also joined Spotify. I was saying the other day that Spotify did this thing with Joe Biden. They made Joe Biden come over to Spotify, and then suddenly allowed everybody to have access to Spotify.
Yeah. Spotify is making a push now for podcasts. Yeah. For some reason, they've
because now you never have to leave the app.
Well, okay, I guess that's it. Maybe all right. Well, there you go then. Well, obviously, the reason is to get more users. Yeah. So, but they've made a push. So it may
why are you
seem
breathing like that on the mic, brother.
I don't know why. It may seem like everybody's joining Joe Biden and we're just jumping on the bandwagon. But it was a bit harder to be on Spotify before they
opened it up after he was there to make that platform be available.
That is what I was going to say.
That's what I said at the beginning before you come over.
Okay. What else? Use the hashtag ESN Pod to join in the conversation. Let us know. What, in fact, I think the biggest thing that we spoke about on this was the thing about sharing videos of violence. What are your views on that? So use the hashtag ESN Pod, join in the conversation. Do you agree with myself and Big Wahala, or do you think Simple Simon and Mr. Wolf have their own
Simple
point?
Simon?
So,
wow, just dashed him under the bus.
Sorry.
Man said nothing on the topic. Not even a word.
Sorry. That actor, Mr. Wolf. What are your views?
That's how they rub me out. Stray bullets, always.
Okay. All right. Okay. That is that. Thank you very much for listening. Episode 98 of ESN Podcast Season 2 is done.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you ain't saying nothing, say it well.
Slag for life.
You look familiar. You look like somebody. What's your name?
Rejoice. Legend. Not too bad. Well done.
I'm alright, man. I'm alright.
You're alright, man. You're alright. You can't go back into home foot mode. Now that we stop recording, like, yeah, I'm back on it. You get me?
I'm alright.
Have you two watched
No.
Thug, by the way. That's the acronym is Thug.
Oh yeah. What acronym?
The hell you did. THUG. Did you know? Did you see it? You did.
Of course I did.
Your child had